Hello everyone and welcome back to Simplilearn. In this course, Product First Thing and Agile Frameworks, we will know how to think about products from a business, customer and delivery point of view. Because today, companies are not just building software or launching services. They are solving real customer problems, improving experiences and creating products that can grow in the market. But to build the right product, we first need to understand the problem clearly. Identify the users, manage stakeholders, expectations, and decide what should be built first. That is where the product first thinking becomes one of the most important skills for business analysts, product analysts, and aspiring product professionals. In this course, we will start by understanding what product first thinking means and why it is important before jumping into solutions. Then we will explore how business analysts and product teams identify customer needs, business goals, user pain points, and also market opportunities. After that, we will learn about Agile and Scrum fundamentals, where you will understand how teams work in sprints, manage changing requirements, and deliver value step by step. Next, we'll understand how to write user stories, define epics, prioritize features, and identify the minimum valuable product or MVP. We'll also explore important product and business tools like stakeholder mapping, user story mapping, use case diagrams, business prototypes, and proof of concept. Along the way, we will look at real world examples of product success and failures. So you can understand how companies make product decisions and what happens when customers' needs are ignored. By the end of this course, you'll understand how think like a product focused business analyst, how agile frameworks support product development, and how convert business problems into practical product solution. So let's get started with the product first thing and agile frameworks and learn how to build products that solve real world problems and deliver real business value. If you're interested in building a career in product management, then you can check out Simplilearn's AI-powered professional certificate in product management in partnership with SP Jain School of Global Management. This program helps you understand how products are planned, designed, launched, and improved with real world. You will learn the important product management skills like product strategy, market research, customer value, design thinking, road mapping, MVP development, agile methodology, UX design, product analytics, and business models. You will also learn how to use Gen AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Midjourney, and others modern tools to support product research, ideation, UX design, and product innovation. The course includes live online classes, expert led sessions, real world case studies, hands on projects, and capstone project where you apply what you learn to practical product problems. You'll also get the professional certificate from SP Jain Global along with access to its executive education alumni network. So if you want to move into product management or improve your practical thinking skills, this course can help you build the right foundation. You can check out the link in the description box below and explore the program. Before we begin, here's a quick question for you to answer. When building a new product, what should a team understand first? The latest technology to use, the customer problem they are trying to solve, the final design of the product, the marketing budget. Let us know your answers in the comment section below. Let's get started.
This is what happened. Now I'll give you 30 seconds. This will happen for project ramp up, okay? Now learners, I'll give you 30 seconds. They met with only sales and marketing people. They focus more on the documentation, lengthy documents to developers, timely insights they couldn't get, and they had restricted visibility. All right, flexibility, sorry. My question for you is, if you were given this design, can anyone elaborate how would you or what approach would you take to completely redesign the checkout system? Let's see who would like to take that up. Go ahead. Open to answers. Praveen, Priyanka, Shikha, maybe Sumedha, Sayali. Anyone would like to pitch in, we'll take it up. How would you take this approach? What approach would you take so that you can, make this working rather than the way it was done?
So, hi, I will create a prototype kind of mock-up to
Great.
create my idea, what I'm thinking, and this is like a sample or what. So
Absolutely.
this is my visual like picture what we are trying to build, right? So
Great.
it will start with
Great.
that.
So Shikha is saying that, Suryanj, why do you complicate things? Just simply show a design on how this will work. Right, Shikha? And if this thing gets going,
Correct.
then you can send it for development and then you can test it. So in this way, you can have multiple designs. Whichever way or whichever design fits, you give it for development, and based on the inputs that you're getting, you deploy it. Cool. Next point. Next point. Thank you, Shikha. Any other learner has got a different approach? Redesign the only user journey. Talk to customers. Ask them why they're churning. Great. That's Priyanka. That's correct. So you follow V model POC for the application. Okay. Omkar, why don't you elaborate in easier words for everyone to understand? Any other approach anyone else has on how do you take it better? Because what Shikha told, what Omkar and Priyanka have given, they make sense, and that's what they did. Customers actually, someone mentioned talk to customers, right? So they didn't talk to customers. The reality was, customer they needed some clearly delivery slots and instant payment options. They didn't talk to customers. They got stuck. The development spent building UI priorities again, which was not needed. The solution missed the mark. Card abandonment remained high, and holiday marketing push failed. Learners, how do you? Okay, here's a small question for you. Okay, now listen to this. Today, let's say you have made a new way to check out. Okay, you've redesigned this entire thing in a very layman terms. You will, before opening it to users, before opening to the users, how do you get feedback whether this is working or not? Because to get feedback, you need to deploy it so that everyone can use it. But the moment everyone starts using it, that's when your system starts showing problems, and that's when people think it's a failed product. So how do you get out of this loop, learners? Wherein, yeah, Shikha, go ahead, over to you.
Yeah, we will test in like as a BA, like we will test in QA environment. So first
Good,
internal check, and
good.
then before finally go in
Hmm.
production, it will go live. So we can
Absolutely,
find the internal testing, what are the
absolutely.
shortcomings,
That's
drawbacks.
right. That's right. Thank you, Shikha. Any other learner got any other input on that?
We could also go with the alpha and beta testing and
Absolutely right.
A to B
Absolutely right.
hypothesis. Like build a hypothesis, do the A to
Hypothesis.
B testing as well,
Hmm. That's right.
and
Go ahead, Priyanka.
build a hypothesis and do the A/B testing whether this
Get it.
is actually viable.
Good. So one way how Priyanka, Shikha, everyone we used to do was we would first deploy something on mod server before we move it to the production server. So learners usually one way that we commonly adopt is have a different server for internal testing usage. If it gets approved, then you move it to the production server. That's how work usually happens in tech. So they have different servers for testing and internal usage. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Now, 10 seconds to read what is being shown on your screen. It is similar to what we have already discussed yet. Okay. So I'll give you 10 seconds to read, then we'll continue.
Hello, Suryansh.
Tanushri, just give me a moment, Tanushri. Learners, do you also hear Tanushri's voice breaking? Because Tanushri, I just heard your voice and I saw it and I heard it breaking. So yes, Priyanka, Omkar are also feeling that your voice is breaking, Tanushri. So why don't you go ahead and try again?
Is it audible now?
Perfect. It's perfectly fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, Suryansh, actually, my question, it's not a question, it's a request because everyone here is experienced, I feel so, but
Mm-hmm.
few are like non experienced.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, can you take it in some easy pace
Oh,
so
sure.
that we
We can do
can
that.
get through
Sure.
it?
Done.
Because how
Done.
the
Done.
production and all, so
Got it.
it's
Got it.
completely rapid.
Got it. Got it. So we'll take some examples wherein we can work and see that everyone fits in. By the way, thank you, Tanushri. However, whenever you have these kind of doubts, learners, try to bring it immediately. Okay. So next time, if any learner feels the same, just feel free to pitch in, and then and there we can switch to something easier. Okay. All right. All right. If you've read this slide, quickly type yes in the chat box because then we have a new problem coming up. If you have read that slide, learners, now I want you to read this. Then we'll have a small discussion on this. We'll take a break at 9 p.m. learners, by the way. Okay. So just read this and then let's get in a discussion. Thank you, Rahul. Okay, learners, as in, when almost all of us are reading, so why don't we do this? Why don't we get a pen and a paper and then we start focusing on the problem over here? I'll give you 10 seconds for everyone to get a pen and a paper and then we can start. Learners, the question says that Target, you could say a similar company to Walmart. Okay, they decided that let's enter Canada. We're doing very well in US, and they decided to open 100 stores within months. Now, learners, remember one thing: Target stores are, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, okay, aren't they pretty huge, learners? Do you agree? Yes or no? Target stores. Do you agree? Yes or no? Now you're opening hundreds of these. Remember, do you agree with the problem? Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you agree with the problem? Hundreds of stores. Just imagine the cost. Not only the cost of leasing, imagine the cost of land plus construction plus, let's say, cost of labor, inventory. Do you agree with the cost that is involved? Yes or no, learners? Now, my question for you over here is that since they opened over 100 stores and within 2 years they realized they had done a huge mistake. They incurred a loss over $2 billion. Okay. Could you tell me what could have gone wrong? Let's see who would like to pitch. Anyone can pitch in. Tanushri, would you like to start? What could have gone wrong? Or any other learner, now you can pitch in that what do you think could have gone wrong in this expansion by Target? Shikha, over to you.
Yeah, since I'm in Canada, so I can easily tell. So first of all, they have to do the market strategy. Like there are a lot of competitors, so they have to see what they are uniquely offering. So if they have to survive in the market, so first point, if I'm taking incremental rollout, so the
Hmm.
scale expansion was big. Instead of
Hmm.
100, they should start with 2 or 3 stores just to see how the
Hmm.
response is coming. And
Hmm.
then, secondly, in terms of inventory, so
Hmm.
if there's offering similar product and, like, for example, high price, so no one is gonna buy, right? And if
Hmm.
there is no variety in terms of like inventory, so
Hmm.
the customer will go to other market
Got
player,
it.
right?
Got it. Got it. So
And
the
third
Shikha, you
one,
mean to say that they could have gone with a little bit incremental kind of an approach, and at the same
yeah,
time, they should have understood the market requirements better. Correct?
yeah. And in
Okay.
like they
Go ahead.
start
Go
with
ahead.
100 stores, no feedback loop. That means they didn't gather the response from the consumers,
Mm-hmm.
how they feel about the store and the products.
Mm-hmm.
So all these things, pile up, and that leads to the failure of this
Great.
target.
Great. So let's say they invested a lot of money in the very first place. May I know the reason? Anyone can speak. May I know the reason why a company like Target? It's not a startup. It's a well-established company doing very well in US. How can a company like this commit such a mistake? That suddenly they spend 2 billion, said okay we'll take the risk and so on and so forth. Go ahead. Can anyone tell me some reasons why this could have happened? I mean, obviously they would have better people to manage, right? They would have people who knew Agile. They would have people who understand these concepts, right? Just as we are able to discuss. So can anyone tell how could they make these kind of mistakes?
There's a disconnect with what they expected the customer wanted. necessary, like certain products, say across the a state, would necessarily sales at high volume in one end of the state may not be the same result in the other end. But just
Mm-hmm.
because it's that state in particular, oh, we can put this drink, in this area and it'll sell out, but it won't
Okay,
happen that way. Yeah, especially
good.
if the east end of the state doesn't know much about that product, but it's very
Hmm.
popular on the other end, yeah, you'll sell out. But it's like they didn't do a market research to see
Okay,
what the response would be with customers.
cool. Makes sense. Thank you, Adrian. Any other learner would like to pitch in on what wrong? Rahul, maybe you would like to go ahead. Shikha, we'll come to the solution in a moment. Let's see what the exact problem could be. Then that time we can you can speak out your solution. Go ahead, Rahul. Any suggestion? Any reason you could figure out? Maybe Tanushri, Omka, Praveen, Priyanka, Sumedha, and Deep. Anyone?
Yeah,
Tanushri.
yeah. Even I might feel that there might be a controversy on regions. Like in
Mm-hmm.
some regions, people opt for those things, like
Mm-hmm.
these stores, and in other regions, they think they don't go. Actually, this problem has
Mm-hmm.
occurred from my end, from our end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, what people think is, rather than going and buying there, we can get it on Blinkit and all, or else,
Okay.
uh,
S-
or else
Got it.
one more criteria is overconfidence.
Got it. Yes, maybe the company became complacent, right? Adding on to what Tanushri and everyone mentioned over here, learners. Do you use this? Yes or no? Overestimation of their branding. That's right. I hope everyone uses this brand. And let's see who can answer. What was the first product they started selling on this platform? The first product.
Books.
Books. Absolutely right. Right. Now. Later they scale to everything. Everything means everything. Today you find everything on Amazon, right? How did this happen? Because when they launched books, they got continuous feedback. What different products are people buying from other e-commerce platforms? Remember 2001 .com crash? Before that, you had lots and lots of companies, e-commerce companies selling anything and everything online. Medicines, books, shoes, toys, clothes, everything had started gone online because of this .com. And then Amazon realized, let's have a look what else is growing on e-commerce. They already had a good user base because of the books part. So that's how, based on the feedback on what people are buying more, they went in acquisitions on what products people are buying more. So why don't we buy that e-commerce platform so that we directly onboard the users? That's how Amazon scaled, and that's how they introduced their Prime membership plan because they had access to data, starting with one category of books. So target learners didn't have access to that level of user insights. And even if they had, they did not take action points on that. My question for you is if you were to get this thing off ground, learners, okay, as Shikha and everyone told, you have opened two stores. All right, Shikha, you mentioned 2 to 3 stores. Now, everyone, listen to this carefully.
Yeah.
You have opened two stores in Canada. What is your next step? Who will answer? Go ahead. We are now following an agile approach. You being the agile masters, you've told me to open two stores. I've opened two stores. Now tell me what should be the next step. Go ahead.
So we will
Hmm.
survey what's the revenue,
Good.
what's the, by having survey, we will take the feedback from consumers,
Excellent. So
what exactly
revenue
they are
will have
looking.
feedback. Good.
Yeah. And
What else?
Suryansh, I have a question at this point.
Priyanka, go ahead.
Yeah, the question is, at what location are you opening the store and what's the criteria for it?
Good. So you mean to say, let's say Priyanka, they did some market research and they realized that these two locations would be good enough to try. So the background will not touch. Okay, we believe that the background that they did in choosing those two locations was good. Okay.
Okay.
Now we'll focus on the situation. That's a good question. How did you first decide on the two locations? Okay, so we
Yeah.
consider as a, what do you say, something that is sure short for we know what we know, that it is the best location. Now what next? So Shikha has told revenue monitor, feedback monitoring from users. What else? Need to understand the need of the customer. Okay, great. What else? What else? How do we do that better? When should we open a news show? Okay, we have taken feedback. We are now monitoring revenue. What else can we do to stop committing regular supply of goods? Okay. So if something is in more demand, just ensure that it's always stocked and piled. Okay, what else?
No, sometimes they'll check out other stores in that area to see what's
Good,
offered. Check the
good,
competition.
good. That's, you need to check the competition first. Great. Learners, here's a small question for you because it is adding on to the target what we're going to learn. We're learning over here. Walmart failed in India. Why? Walmart, Indians love to, and who would not love to buy goods at the best price, right? Obviously, who wouldn't want to do that? My question is Walmart failed in India. Why? Go ahead. Anyone, any guesses, any reason why could, what could be
Yeah,
the issue?
I'm not sure. Maybe like India is a huge market with local
Hmm.
retailers. So sometimes people feel like we will support our local economy. Why other US retailer
Hmm.
would come to our
But
market, right?
Shika, same people happily adopted Blinkit, Instamart, Zepto when these things came in the picture. So they were readily happy to forego their favorite local shops when these things
Yeah, yeah.
came.
I mean, but again, Blinkit, Instamart, all they are Indian brands, correct?
Okay,
From
okay, okay, okay. So you mean to
so
say we
that's
focus?
what I'm
Got
trying
it,
to say.
got it,
So sometimes this mindset also comes into picture. People want to support, especially in the COVID time. Like
got it,
a lot of people have this business mindset, and people were supporting to their being a local,
got it.
even from village.
Makes
So that is
got it,
yeah.
got it, got it. Now, similar reason for target. Anyone physical store? What physical store, Anudeep? Political. Okay. What else? What else? They're able to find some cheaper rate someplace. Rahul, nobody can beat Walmart in pricing. Nobody. You know, you can't imagine. I've never seen it personally, but the way I've heard about it, read about it, you can't beat Walmart in pricing. So it's not possible for them. Learners, same thing. Target did wrong in Canada, Walmart did wrong in India. Do you all agree that Walmart store is a huge store? Yes or no? It's like a city on its own, correct? Now, when you have a city of your own, that means this big chunk of land cannot be in a city. Obviously, you will not get this huge piece of land in a city. So, definitely, it will be someplace outside the city. Yes or no? Yes or no, learners? Do you agree? Yes or no? Now. In US, almost every family has a car. It's common understanding that people own a car in US. However, in India, that time cars were not as common as they are today. Maybe even in India today, we are mainly the world's largest two-wheeler market. So now if I have to buy something, you mean to say I need to drive all the way outside city in broken roads just to buy something? Doesn't make sense. That's the reason the model didn't work out. Because US has excellent road infrastructure. In India now it's getting really good. It's getting really better. But when Walmart came, it didn't. In India, not everyone has a car to drive and go there and get it done. In US, everyone has. So because of these conditions, Walmart also couldn't take off in India. However, another company learned from this mistake. Can anyone guess which company in India works on the Walmart answer?
DMart.
DMart. So they learned, they took feedback from Walmart and they opened DMart, offering cheapest prices. And what DMart did, they said that in order to offer cheapest prices, how do we do that? Buying power and all is one thing. They brought a strategy that we will buy, we'll make a heavy investment, but we will buy all stores. We will not lease them. So we don't have a recurring expense called lease. We buy it, an asset is built for us so that we don't pay rent anymore. So that's how it worked, learned from one company to another, and that's how the inventory kept on increasing and increasing. If you're clear with these examples and the way we are going, learners, just quickly type your name in the chat box because we'll have 22 minutes more and then we'll take a small break. What we're going to learn now, learners, is a very, what do you say, a common interlinked structure. Okay. You don't need to learn it by heart. You don't need to, what do you say, take notes. All you need to know is that there are different ways we all can work together in an agile team. Okay. Now let's say, today we all are sitting. Praveen gives me a suggestion. Praveen says, "Hey, Suryansh, I have an idea. Why don't we discuss whatever discussions we are doing? Why don't we put it all our discussions on, let's say, our own website?" I say to Praveen, "How do we do that?" Praveen says, "I'll quickly make a WordPress website. You give me the videos. I'll I don't need to buy storage space. We'll upload the videos on YouTube. We'll paste the link on our website." How much time do you think, learners, will this take for Praveen to create a very small dummy website, pasting link on that website, uploading video on YouTube? How much time do you think Praveen will take to get it done?
Well, depending on his skill set, it may not take long at all, especially if you're using AI. It takes minutes now.
Minutes, right? So let's say Praveen says, "Suryansh, WordPress is like drag and drop. It's like a PPT. I will simply enter some text, let's say our sessions. Then I will put simply links. I can get it done in less than 20-25 minutes. And the moment
Mhm.
I get feedbacks, then I'll keep on adding." Okay. Now, how much time will a company like Accenture take to deliver this same product? If they were to put a platform of all of their trainings, the POVs on their website, how much time do you think a big company like TCS or Accenture take? Any
Maybe like
guesses?
It will
nine,
huge loss
nine
for
months to a
company.
year.
Huh?
It will huge loss for the company if they do like this means.
As in, it's going to be a huge cost and effort for company, right, Praveen?
Yes.
And it's going to take maybe a quarter to get it done, right,
Yeah.
Praveen?
Correct.
Now, do you see, learners? Do you see, learners, how priorities are different for a 0 to 1 company and for a well established brand like Accenture? Do you agree with this, learners? Yes or no? Tell me.
Yes.
Makes sense, right? Similarly, the amount of regulations that financial institutions like banks have to undergo when they launch a new financial product, again, it's a time consuming process. Correct? Because it requires a lot of safety checks. Cool. And the same way, for a company that already has a good product running in the market, now they have been asked to trim down some of their products and focus only on what is necessary. They will also have a different approach. So, do you agree that in all of these scenarios, the approach that we will be taking in tackling a problem is completely different? Obviously, time and effort is also different. That's the reason the approach cannot be same. If you agree with this, quickly type yes in the chat box. That yes, Suryansh, it's common sense. The approach itself is completely different. However, Suryansh, we would still like to follow principles of agile. Does that mean you are taking us back to waterfall? No. In agile learners, again, there are different approaches that we take towards a delivery or a development process, and that's what we're going to see now. Can you see this thing called Scrum, Kanban, Lean, XP, Scaled Agile Framework, Crystal Lean. Do you see? Yes or no? Do you see this? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Just keep a note of these things and I'll explain you in very, very simple layman terms. Okay. And then we can go ahead and start discussing on each and everything. Learners, let's say today we have got Tanushree who is more focused. She's, let's say, running her own startup, and that startup pertains to similar products like Amazon. All right, Tanushri. Since it's a newly launched product, so Tanushri says, Suryansh, I don't have time to brainstorm for 1 week on a feature. I would prefer deploying it immediately, getting the feedback, and then deploying it again. Do you all agree, learners? That's how it has to work out. Yes or no? Therefore, learners, when we are discussing, our focus is on rapid delivery, that just get that feature running at all cost. I don't care what's the feedback, we gotta improve on that, but just get the deployment done now. Even if it's not well made, it's half cooked, get it done, because I want to see deployments, I want to see features. This is, in this scenario, learners, we usually follow Scrum approach, because Scrum focuses on rapid delivery. This feature in 1 week, next feature next week. Take feedback, launch another feature next week. Take feedback, another feature, another feature. This is what we follow in Scrum. In very simple layman terms. If you're clear with this, learners, quickly type a yes in the chat box. That is Suryansh. It's very straightforward when the focus is on delivery. Okay. Now consider a scenario wherein our friend Tanushri and Rahul, are you able to follow now with some of the examples that we are touching and the discussions related topics that we are doing? Are you now able to relate them better, Tanushri, Rahul? Because Rahul, perfect. Now, learners, consider a scenario wherein we have Rahul. Rahul, you are running currently a production house and you are a media company. Okay. Now, learners, listen to this carefully. They, let's say, are in the business of advertisements. They are in the business of social media reels. They are in the business of, let's say, YouTube ads. It could be anything. For them, let's say if they have a client called Dropbox or they have a client called Ola or Uber, they need to ensure that continuous delivery of whatever production they are making continues to take place. Do you agree with this, learners? Yes or no? That every now and then the flow should be maintained so that there is no break in any production, advertisements, customer touch points at any point of time. There should be one or the other production taking place always. Some production can take 1 week, some production can take 2 weeks. I'm happy with that. But the visibility should be such that it appears to be as a continuous flow. In this kind of scenario, learners, we use something known as a Kanban approach. Okay, wherein our focus is mainly on flowing, that it should not stop at any point of time. Are you, if you're clear with Kanban, learners, just quickly type K in the chat box. That yes, Suryansh, we're good with Kanban. Just type K in the chat box. Okay. Now, learners, there could also be a possibility wherein a company like Accenture has, let's say, 5 lakh resources, which means roughly 500,000 resources work. Now, all of you would agree that there would be thousands and thousands of teams. Yes or no? And you would also agree that, let's say, Accenture has a client called Aniket. Okay, Aniket. And for Aniket, Accenture, let's say, considers Aniket what you call a diamond client. That means a huge value client. Now, if it's a huge value, then Aniket would have multiple teams from Accenture working for him. Correct? When, as an organization, you have to manage multiple teams, cross functional teams, using agile principles, you use what is called over here scaled agile framework. Now, if you're clear with concepts, okay, when do I use what, big organizations use what, just quickly type Y in the chat box, then we'll go and see what are we looking at. Just quickly type Y. Kanban, okay, who said Kanban? Kanban, Rahul, wherein you're focused more on seeing that the flow of delivery does not break. That means if you have a task of having production of advertisements or YouTube shorts or Instagram reels as your project, then at all times there are some deliverables taking place. Maybe after 1 week, maybe after 2 weeks, maybe after 3 weeks, something is always flowing. At no point of time there is any lag in one flow from the other. That's what Kanban in brief means. Now, instead of wasting time on these theoretical aspects, please take 10 seconds to read what's there on the screen, because in this way you will get some idea about the key elements. You don't need to memorize them, you just need to know that these words exist. That's it. I'll give you 10 seconds for this and then we'll continue. Praveen, yes, you could consider it more of for a social media management company, for a production house. That's when Kanban fits well. However, if you have, let's say you are in a, you're working with a client who has fixed deliverables. You don't need to brainstorm on much of deliverables, or it's more of like a not a new product or a system integration. It's a maintenance work for a software. That's when again you can use Kanban, because it shows that continuous flow of tickets is taking place and those are being resolved in the right time. Is that clear, Praveen?
Um, I have a
Yes.
question, Surya.
Go ahead, Shika.
So,
Just give me one moment, Shika. By the time others read Kanban, you can ask now. Go ahead, Shika.
yeah, so when you say, I'm just trying to understand the base here. So, Scrum is like umbrella, and Kanban, Agile, Safe, all these are falling under this umbrella, or
No, no.
like,
Agile is
how
the
do you
umbrella
define?
over here. Agile is the umbrella over here, Shika. And
Okay.
all of these frameworks fall under Agile. Because if you see, Shika, what I told in Kanban, that there shouldn't be any breakage, it should come out as a flow. That's what Agile exactly means, continuous delivery and continuous improvement. Scrum also does the same thing. However, the only difference lies in the visibility, wherein the Scrum part focuses more on the sprints that lead to deliverables. Kanban focuses only on the flow, that during this time a flow came of getting this production done or a ticket resolved. Done, yes. The next time same thing happened, done, yes. The next time same thing happened, done, yes. So there is an overlap, but the umbrella is agile and all of these frameworks fall under agile.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then why people say, like, usually every company they say we are in Scrum call, but irrespective of whatever approach they are following, they
Because
don't know what.
Scrum is the most commonly followed or used methodology. The reason being
Mm-hmm.
is whenever we work in agile teams, Shikha, okay, learners, many a times I'll give you answers that are pertaining or relating to your industry. So if you don't understand the answer that I'm giving to Shikha, because uh, it is a little technical and someone from the industry might understand, but if you would like to know more, you can immediately say that, Suryansh, can you elaborate more on this? All right. So Shikha, whenever we work in an agile team, there is usually a stand-up call, right, Shikha? And
Yeah.
whenever we talk of working in a Scrum environment, it is considered to be launching some kind of a feature. And when you talk of launching some kind of a feature, you definitely bring in the word sprint, right?
Hmm.
The moment you bring these two jargons, Scrum automatically fits in. That's the reason for any new product development. Any new product development you do, you run sprints, And that's the reason Scrum is most commonly used. That's the reason you keep on hearing the word called Scrum call.
Mm-hmm. I'm working in two teams. One follow Agile, other one follow Kanban. So that's
Okay,
why I'm just
got it,
trying
got
to
it, got it.
understand
Also,
theoretically what's the
I
difference.
get it, get it. Learners, Shika has got a good question that one is saying Agile and one is saying Kanban. However, you are giving all frameworks under Agile. So, learners, let me make one thing very clear. There is no standard Agile that you will follow in any organization. If you are in TCS, if you are in Accenture, Accenture has something called Accenture Agile. So they have tweaked the model based on their requirements. Therefore, learners, whatever we are discussing, these are guidelines or principles that are followed with tweaking done based on client requirements or project requirements. So therefore you just need to be aware about the principles and the governing sides, the technicalities. For example, Shikha mentioned Kanban was not called Agile, so these things can vary. So Shikha, you're right in that sense that they use this word. Make sense, Shikha?
Yeah. So,
uh,
but I have a question. In my previous org, we
mm-hmm,
had waterfall structure, but still
mm-hmm,
we had stand up, but we don't like sprints, like it was not following the agile, but we had stand up and we call scrum calls. So like scrum word is very common, it is used everywhere
mm-hmm,
irrespective of your structure. Even in
mm-hmm.
waterfall we can't say agile, like waterfall is completely opposite, right?
It's
So
opposite of right.
yeah, but still we say we have scrum call. So I'm just trying to understand, the scrum word
Hmm.
is so common that we use everywhere,
And
is
when you use
irrespective of
Jira,
agile.
when you use Jira, Scrum is
Yeah,
also called a board.
yeah, yeah.
So
Jira
yes, you're
board.
right. The word is Jira board. That's right. Okay, learners, can anyone tell me what exactly do you see over here? It's called extreme programming. It says software quality and responsiveness for changing customer to engineering excellence. Okay. What exactly does this mean? Can anyone elaborate based on whatever you're seeing on the screen? I'll give you maybe 20-30 seconds to read and then you can go ahead and tell. That's Suryansh, this is what I believe this means. Go ahead. Anyone can answer on this now. What is extreme programming?
Yeah, I can.
Priyanka, over to you.
Yes. So actually, it is called extreme programming. Also, we used to call it behavior driven development. That is
Hmm.
BDD. You already have the requirements ready, and we were mostly writing the test cases even before, like side by side with the development.
Hmm.
So they were working in parallel, like okay, the
Okay.
development and the testing, because the requirements are clear. The test engineering and the development engineering were done simultaneously. And
Hmm.
when we talk in terms of the CI/CD pipeline, the first version of the product with went also went ahead with the tests that were written to it. So this is how we saw that the extreme
Great.
programming.
Great. Great. Learners, let's exactly what Priyanka mentioned over here. Consider this scenario that once you're developing something, it's like writing an exam with a teacher on top of you. So whenever you're doing something, you get it checked with the teacher. If you check this, are you gonna give me full marks? Yes or no? So teacher will look at it and say, no, 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 no. Change the answer in this way so that I can give you full marks. Then you change the answer, give it. Is this fine now? Yes, yes, now it's fine. You get full marks. Go to the next one. That's how it works. You put the tester, the developer. That means if I am tasked with developing a new feature, I'll have a someone who is there to ensure that feature does not work. So whenever I make something, he or she will sit next to me and find out ways to show that this will not work so that I can get it corrected then and there. In simple words, the testing team and the development team work hand in hand from starting. That's in very simple terms for extreme programming. Have a look at Lean now. While you're reading Lean, I'll tell you one very simple thing. When you don't have budget, just keep it very simple. When you don't have budget, you don't have money for impressive launches, for all the jamborees that you can think of, you focus on bare minimum what has to be done. If you are Zomato, you focus on selling online. Forget about membership, forget about wallet, forget about financing, or different payment options, forget about AI, forget about customers requirements getting. So you only focus on what is needed. That's in layman terms what lean means, that you are on budget constraints, you don't want any jamborees, you just want it to be delivered. That is where lean comes in the picture. Can I say that, because this was, again, this will require lots of discussion, so please participate. This is a development team, this is the client, okay, and this is a business analyst. You are the bridge connecting these two. Do you agree that this diagram somewhat rightly justifies the role of a BA? Do you agree with this? Just type yes in the chat box if you are clear. Thank you, Sumedha. Do you agree that, Suryansh, yes, somewhat you are heading in the right direction? That's in layman terms who a BA is. Okay. Now, listen to this carefully. You see, the reason why BA stands somewhere at this junction is, can we say this again? Because this person understands the business side of the client. Maybe if the client is from, again, let's say oil and gas. So maybe the BA has got some background in oil and gas. Therefore, he understands what happens in oil and gas industry, what are their priorities, what are the problems that the softwares that they use can incur. And at the same time, the same person can also talk to developers in their own jargons. So he is aware of both the jargons. That's the reason he's in the right position to bridge the gap. Do you agree with this, learners? If yes, just type Y in the chat box. That yes, Suryansh, because he's someone who has got both of these points cleared, both of the industry sectors cleared. Learners, there is another category. This category is mainly of a product owner. It could be a owner, it could be a product manager, it all varies. Okay. Now, listen to this carefully. Since our friend BA knows industry, our friend BA knows the industry, therefore, he knows the priorities and inside details about the industry. Maybe he knows the safety regulations, maybe he knows the culture of the organization, maybe it knows what is valued the most in these kind of organizations. Maybe he also knows how the person who is acting as from the client side will get his or her money. Therefore, he knows this area very well. However, our friend over here, product owner or manager, he is someone who says, hey, you know what, you just tell me what do you want. I am a features guy. You tell me what feature you want. I will get it done. Period. That's it. Therefore, learners in many organizations, this role and BA role in many projects is played by a common person. If there are two people playing this, let's say one is the PO, one is the business analyst, then the BA understands the industry requirements and tells the product manager that this is what they want. So the product manager says that this translate into these kind of features. Now BA, based on his domain knowledge, explains the product manager that, these are the features perfectly well defined. I would request you to focus on these top two three features first and get them delivered by this time, because this period is usually considered busy for this industry. So the product owner says, cool, I will get this delivered working with the developers. Just in case I need your help, I'll bring you as well in the picture. Once this is done, then a business analyst goes back to the client and shows that with our tech team, we have managed to get this thing done. That's how a usual development process works, learners. If you're clear with the process, that okay, Suryansh, I get it, type Y in the chat box. If you're clear with this process, that why do we need a BA along with the product owner if there is a role, both product and BA role. This is where, learners, I want you now to take 10 seconds to read what is written over here. Then we go to the next step. All right. So I'll give you 10 seconds, read what is being shown, then we continue.
Suryansh, may I have another question at this
Go
point?
ahead, Priyanka. By the time others are reading, you can go ahead.
So, when you talked about BA adding value to the product owner, I was under the impression that product owners usually select the features based on the competitor analysis of what's happening and then they prioritize. When that is the
Hmm.
case, and also based on the feedback, they come up with the different features. So, how can
Okay.
we add value there as business
Okay.
analysts?
Now, you mean to say, Priyanka, that in any product development work, okay, a product owner or a manager sees what's happening in the world, manages to prioritize things, and then gets the developers' work done. Yes or no, Priyanka?
Yes,
Now, everyone, do you agree with the fact that there is kind of an overlap with the role that a BA does? Do you agree, yes or no? Everyone, just type yes or no in the chat box. Do you agree that, Suryansh, we see an overlap? So, learners, that's the reason in very few teams you will have a product owner and you will have a BA. Very rare chance that both of these would be present, because BA does the role of understanding industry and conveying it to product owners, who convey it to the tech lead, and then is being conveyed to developers. Therefore, this step of communication gets skipped, and BA can directly communicate to the tech team what has to be done. Therefore, overlap is there. Very rare you will find a product owner working with a business analyst. Even if you have a business analyst on board, let's say you have a business analyst on board along with the product owner, then business analyst will not get involved with the development work. His side would only be to understand the business, talk to the client in his or her own terms, gain clients confidence that, okay, this is someone, Priyanka is someone who is from pharma industry, so she understands what I'm saying. She's well aware about, let's say, FDA approvals. She's well aware about all the jargons that I'm discussing. Great. The BA develops the confidence. Now, based on this, BA communicates to the product owner that these are the features, and we're discussing with the client, these are the priorities. Please get it done. Now, the product owner starts getting work done with the developers. So, both of these scenarios work. Praveen, it only does not involve in development side. It only happens when you have a product owner or a product manager. Majority of the time, the product owner or manager will not be there if you are sitting as a BA. Now you are clear, Praveen, that if you are a BA and the team does not have a product owner or a manager, which it will not have because it doesn't need. Therefore, you would be the one who would be working with the developers. That's the reason in both the roles, BA and, how do you say, product owners, many a times these are no one but developers who switch to these roles. The BA side, it is usually a developer or someone from the industry knowledge who manages to get in this role. So all of these options are possible, but the way of keeping it simple, straightforward is the BA works with both developers and the client. But if another layer of product owner is added, then BA gains client's confidence, takes care of all the client dealings and communication with the product owner. Priyanka, does that somewhat answer your question by the time others go and read to the next one? Yes or no?
yes.
Okay, now learners, Shailesh, I'll come to that note in a moment. But how many of you learners present over here have used this tool called Jira? Anyone? So if you have used the word Jira, go ahead, tell me. Just type yes, no in the chat box. That yes, Suryansh, I've used Jira. No, I've not used Jira. So go ahead. Okay. So learners, what I'll do now is I'll just explain you what exactly uh, Jira kind of a thing is, so that you understand once you start using it in your career. We'll not give a demo of Jira and all, because that's going to be a lot of time consuming. So consider a scenario today that, let's say, over here, our friend, all learners who are well aware, just bear with me for a moment. Let's say today we have Praveen, who is client. We have got Priyanka, who is, let's say, the business analyst. We have got Suryansh, who is the developer. We have got Aniket again, who is also a developer. And we have got over here Deepika, who is as a working as a software tester. Cool. Don't you think you need a place where you can manage all of these people, whatever work they have been given, whatever task they have been assigned, whatever updates they've got, whatever you know status about the work that they're working with? Don't you think it would be great to have all of this available at just one place? Do you agree with this? Yes or no? Thanks, Sumedha. Do you agree with this? Yes or no? That yes, Suryansh, I think it's common sense. Who is gonna keep on updating those Google Sheets or Microsoft Teams, Excel, all the time, just to ensure that where all we are working? In fact, client would never have so much time to look around Excel sheets and know the status. This is where learners Jira comes in the picture. Jira says all team members, everyone, you want to know anything, come to Jira. I will show you what features are currently being made, what features have been made, what features are yet to be started, what features have to be made, what products are in testing. I can let you know if, let's say, we've got over here Praveen working as a developer, what products, what features he's currently working on, what features he has not even started. If, let's say, Sumedha is a tester, what products has she done her testing completion, what products she's currently working on. So all of this view is given using Jira. If you're clear with this very simple story, just type. See, don't worry if you have not used Jira. There are multiple products available in the market. The reason why Jira is being used or is being spoken more of, simple reason, because I'll explain that, Praveen. A simple reason because it's got excellent UI UX. It's a good tool for collaboration across teams. Most importantly, you could say that since it was it's already made by a company called Atlassian, which already has other products. So yes, the adoption is high. So Praveen, in layman terms, just remember that Jira is a software that can be used to run software development, product development projects, wherein you can track each and every team member working on what all features, and those features are currently at what all stages. So you don't need to write a mail to check where are you working, what are you working at, what was the update. You don't need any rag status update, nothing. All updates take place at Jira, wherein you can work, and a client can also view, if needed, what is the status of the product that he is asked to deliver. Does that make sense, Praveen? A very simple, clear meaning, yes or no? All learners, does that make sense? Yes or no?
Is this similar to Azure DevOps though? When they have the vision boards and you go in to do the
The
updates or you assign the different
similar,
work?
yes, yes. See, the same thing
Okay,
can be done
okay,
using email. Same thing can be done using Excel, Slack,
okay, all
whatever
right,
product you say, right? It's just it's another tool to manage. Okay.
okay. All right.
I'll, if time permits, towards the end, no, I'll also show you exactly how a Jira board looks like. Okay. Now, learners. Let's say today we have Praveen over here. Praveen says, Suryansh, why don't we do this? Why don't we launch, since we all work at, let's say, Uber, why don't we launch a feature called a Prime membership of Uber, which guarantees you a cab? No matter what time, what place you are at, if Uber is there at that location, no matter what happens, even it means heavy rains, you will still be guaranteed a cab ride, no matter what. So Praveen has given this idea that let's work on this. Everyone, are you clear with the idea? Yes or no? Yes or no? Learners, quickly type that yes, Suryansh, you are clear with the idea. Now, learners, this is the idea. That means just understand the story, okay? That means this is Suryansh, the final objective that we are trying to achieve. Correct? That we need to have a Prime membership that offers these benefits. If I talk in terms of Jira, the final objective is called Epic. Whatever you want to achieve while you are making a software, right? You have a final objective. You name it as Epic in Jira. That this is the reason why I am on Jira. This is the reason Tanushri is a tester, Praveen is a developer, Suryanj is a developer, and Adrien is a client. We all are here to achieve this final objective called Epic. Everyone clear what exactly an epic is? It is a final objective that you are trying to achieve. It could be adding payment, online payment methods. It could be adding cash on delivery to an e-commerce platform. It could be anything. Are you clear? If you're clear with epic, type E in the chat box, everyone. Okay, now learners, obviously to complete this objective, you would like to make some features. Yes or no? First feature, because to get this thing live, you first need to have a option on the app which says buy Prime membership. Another option which says benefits of Prime membership, right? Another development that takes payments for the membership, right? And another one, for renewal or cancellation of the membership. Do you think that whenever you launch a new membership program, you need to, at of the minimum, you need to get these things done? That give a button so that users can click on it. Users need to know more about it. Users can pay for it. And if they want to cancel, they want to refund, or maybe they want to renew, this is how they can do it. Therefore, learners, again, now what I'm going to say is going to vary a lot from organization to organization. Therefore, we'll not discuss more on what is it called, but many companies call these as features. Many companies call this as stories. So the final objective is called epic. And in order to achieve an epic, what is it that you need to do? I need to give you a button to buy. I need to give you a payment option. I need to give you the features. And then I need to give you an option to renew. So these are called stories. So that's the hierarchy. On top, you have epic, and then you have got stories. We'll not dig in much more details on this because it's a huge topic on its own. What comes after the stories, why only stories? So it's a huge topic. So just let me know if you're clear with the story that I told you about epic and stories and the example that I gave. If you're clear, just quickly type your name in the chat box so that I can continue with the next part. I know already who are from tech background, you will have a different opinion. That's Suryansh, and we don't call it stories, we call it features. We don't call it features, we call it something else. Sometimes someone will say task, subtask. So we'll not get in those details because it is not a session on Jira. Okay, now learners, um, Tanushri and Rahul, now are you able to follow? As in the examples and all, they are coming as per your, what do you say, industry relevancy and you're able to understand? Yes or no? Okay, great, great. Now, learners, let's see this. Let's see this. Everyone, keep your typing ready. All right, you need to type it in the chat box. All right, keep your chat box ready. You need to type it out. Do you see user story one? It says, as a shopper, I want to pay using UPI cards or wallets so that I can choose my preferred payment method. User story 2, it says, I want to save my card securely so I don't need to re enter details. I want to clear error message if payment fails so I know what has to be fixed. Okay. Now, this is a very simple example on how an online transaction takes place. Do you agree? Yes or no? I can choose UPI, I can choose cards, I can choose wallets. And after that, I need to save it. And after that, if the payment fails, tell me it has failed. Okay. What I want you to do is write down similar user stories on the chat box, user story 1, 2, 3, of entering a delivery address. For example, as a user, I my current location should automatically be accessed by the platform. User story 2, I should be able to manually enter if it is a new address. User story 3, I should be able to select which address I want the delivery to take place. Okay, so now write down 4 user stories on updating or adding delivery details for the user. One example I gave you, you can take that example as it is, or maybe you can add something more to that. Don't worry if it's right, wrong, whatever it is. Just learners, I'm so sorry. Just give me one moment. The session is till 10:30 or till 10? Learners, can I get an answer to that, please?
It's for
10:30, right?
10:30. Yeah.
10:30, right? Please don't fill the feedback form now. I'll tell you why. Because
10:30.
usually I get my feedback forms filled towards the last 15 minutes. What do you want? You want to fill the feedback form right away, or what do you want to do? Tell me. Since it has already been shared and many of us may skip, please take 10 seconds and get the feedback form done. I'll wait. Hurry up, learners. Quickly fill the feedback form. Take 10 seconds. Shailesh, if you just fill it now, because now it is being shared, so it's good that it gets along with the flow. Na? Because after that, maybe many learners leave towards the last, or the link will get, we forget to share it again. Okay. So learners, take 10 seconds, quickly fill that form, come back, type in your user stories. You don't need to worry whether it's right, wrong, doesn't matter. You're only here to learn. So hurry up, just get it done, just write down user stories, but fill the feedback form first, please, quick. It won't take more than 5 seconds, 10 seconds for you to do that. Hurry up, learners. If you have done the feedback form, please let me know so that I know that if most of you have filled, I'll now straight away go to the user stories part. All right. Hurry up, learners. Get the feedback forms quick. Okay, thank you, Praveen. Learners, send me your user stories now. Quick, hurry up. Let's see what we have got. I would like to see all your user stories. Go ahead. Show me your user stories 1, 2, and 3. I'll give you maybe a minute more, but not more than that. Hurry up, learners. Show me your user stories quick. Tanushri, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Sumedha makes sense. Works well. Good. Next learner. Let's see what all. Okay, good, Priyanka. Let's see. able to enter multiple delivery locations. Perfect. Uh-huh. Able to label my excellent home office. Okay. I wish to have an option to choose delivery. Excellent, Priyanka. So we've got, as a user, I want to fetch my current location by turning on. I want the app to remember my location. Good. Refresh my current location. Perfectly fine. We'll take 10 more seconds. If anyone else would like to share, please do that right away. Okay. Good, learners. Now. Let's come over here. Let's come over here and have a look at this. I want to update my address manually. Great. Now. We'll not spend time much on this, but do you all agree that whatever stories you've given, they all are small enough? I mean, they are not big paragraphs. Do you agree? Yes or no? You also agree that they are valuable to the customer. They can be tested very well, and moreover, they are independent. That's it. They're independent of any other feature. Selecting location, choosing my location, labeling my address. Therefore, these are certain things that usually are kept in mind while designing stories. It's a principle called the invest test. Okay. Now. Here we go. Here we go with what is this, learners? Can anyone please read? Take 10 seconds and then we'll start. It says agile estimation. Okay, focuses not on exact hours but on effort, complexity, risk, uncertainty. The goal is to help team decide this. Okay. hmm Now, as we go, I have a small question for you. Let's say, how do you decide how much effort or cost is a feature gonna take? Or let's make it very simple. How do you decide value of a feature that you're gonna launch? Let's see who can answer this question. My question is very simple. How do you decide value of a feature that you're gonna launch? Can anyone answer? All features are important, some features are more important, some are less important. So how do you decide the value of a feature? Go ahead. Can anyone answer this question?
Well, dealing with
Mm-hmm.
it in the past has been like historical fact. So we've had something similar to
Mm-hmm.
that feature and everything it embodies. Then we'll usually go with the numbers that were used previously. So
Mm-hmm.
if we're launching a feature that says install a go button, and we've
Good.
used a go button for another similar sprint,
Good, good,
and that,
good. So
and that
excellent.
would be
So
like
let's say
10
you
hours,
used your
or say, let's say
absolutely.
10 hours.
So use the historical data, whatever is available to get. That's perfectly fine. Depending on customers' needs, t-shirt sizing, great.
Yeah.
All answers, learners, remember one thing: depend on what Sumedha has just written at the last. Depending on the customer need. Remember this. If a feature takes more effort, consider this. Okay. If a feature takes more effort, okay, but client says it needs to be done right away, and that requires additional efforts to be put in, that means additional resources to be brought in, then that feature carries more value. Therefore, no matter what the effort or resources are required, you need to get it done. Therefore, estimation, how much time, how much effort should be done, is it big or small, there are no straightaway answers for this. It all depends on your interactions with client. Okay. Now, learners, it says says that we're looking at four factors and we are looking at story points. Let's understand what we're reading over here. I'll give you 10 seconds. Go ahead and read whatever text you can see on the screen. Someone mentioned already that Priyanka, I think you mentioned, right? Giving a story point. Yes or no, Priyanka?
Yes, yes.
So that's what we are looking at. See, learners, it is in simple words assigning weightage. That if launching, or let's say, if developing this feature, or let's say working on this story would require keeping effort, complexity, risk, unknown in mind, this much level of weightage, so we assign that. So let's say at last, if you look, display user profile at 2 points, that means very mild risk in that, complexity in that. Okay. However, if you look at the last one, learner story C, profile update, you need to edit profile also, but you are adding multi-language support. Now that requires a lot of effort. It is complex, but maybe the risk is less, but still it carries 8 points. Therefore, you give certain story points to every story. And once you have got a total that, okay, this story carries this much point, this story carries this much point, then based on the time you've got, you decide which one to start. Can anyone guess how do you determine how much points should be given to a story? Now, here's a question for you all. Suryansh, you have told us that to give story points. And then once we have story points, then depending on time and all available with us, we can choose which one to work on first. Perfectly fine. But you didn't tell us how do we assign the story points? Who decides whether it's a 2 point story, 5 point story, 8 point story? Who decides that? Can anyone answer this? Shikha, please.
Uh, in my process, it's product owner.
Oh, good.
Usually say, and they ask for the input from the developers. Like
Okay.
two story point is enough. So it's not only one way; it's always mutual, I would
It's
say.
always mutual, right? Good.
But
Any
I
other
have
point
a
you'd like to
question.
add?
Like, I have a question.
I'll.
How even the
Huh.
developers or the product owner, how do you derive the 2 points, 4 points, 5 point? Because
Okay.
this is always
I
approximate or
I
average,
know.
right?
I
It's
know.
never
I know.
perfect.
Now. Learners, Shikha is saying that usually the product owner would do that, working with the developers or with the tech lead, working with the tech lead, right? Now she is curious to know how even the developers come to this point, right, Shikha?
Yeah, I mean, I always have a curiosity to know how do we derive the story points.
Good.
I
So
mean,
let's do this, and let me give you, let me give you what do you call the answer from some of my experience, right? When I was taking care of a product called Discover I, what we would do was my job would be to elaborate as much as possible. When I say as much as possible, I mean to say I would take 10 minutes to understand from the client or from the leadership this is what we are trying to make. Only 10 minutes so that just to get an overview what they want because they don't have time. They'll just gonna get a call, okay, do this, why don't you integrate a chatbot covering all industries so that I can ask questions and I straight away I can get answers. Okay, this is what you have to do. Tuck, 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 tuck. I would just keep a note of it. Then it would easily take me 30 to 40 minutes to elaborate them on my own. And then a call would take place involving me and my tech lead. Sometimes tech lead would also have their own backups, right? So they would involve their backup also, the top performing developers. Now, this call would be easily for 1 to 2 hours, where I would explain the entire story that I had discussed with client. Now, what tech lead would do is he would suggest, now you tell how much time you've got. I'll say, okay, we need to start showing deliverables in 1 week's time. Now, everyone, what they would do is they would figure out that certain developments, certain features that do not require a logic change, that do not require a UX change, that do not require any kind of changes in the current structure. When I say structure, I mean to say no changes in the database. Let's target them first so that they can be shipped easily. Certain changes that require UX, database changes, please leave them for a longer side. They can't be done so easily because they would require a lot of discussions to be done. Now, the backup person who is an experienced developer would give the new upcoming developers, what do you call these, simple tasks. You get it done. I'm not getting involved in this. He would start working on the logical questions, or on the logics. Let's say if a new feature is being built to calculate certain values. So he would start working on the logic part. The tech lead will not get involved here. The tech lead will start focusing on the UX and the database changes, keeping the backup involved. They come out with these points based on experience and the changes that are needed in the current structure. Shikha, somewhat learners, if you're okay with this story, that okay, Suryansh, now we get it. That's how it works. Quickly type yes in the chat box. Shikha, does that somewhat answer your question? Because there's no,
So,
what do you call,
no, I want to ask one more question.
Mhm.
So, is it always tech lead or developers? Because I'm assuming they are the person who can actually judge the work, like how much time it take, right? Non-technical
you,
person can't tell or
hmm.
specify.
So you're right when it comes to assigning points, because assigning points comes from the effort required. So they are the ones who make the decision. However, however, they have
Yeah.
made their decision in terms of efforts, time, resources. You, on the other hand, know that these 11.22 points features carry
Mhm.
no value to the client. He or she is going to simply scrap them off and say, I don't need them. Then comes your picture saying that you're saying it is a 10 points thing, and you're saying 2 weeks' time. Show me one deliverable after 1 week. So then you begin with some kind of negotiation with them. So that's how usually the discussion happens.
And is it correct? I'm sorry.
Hmm.
I'm just trying to be
Hmm.
more upfront. Sometimes you are non-technical. The
Hmm.
other person is technical, but you don't know how truth is that. Like, let's say someone says, "Oh, this is very big task," and
Hmm.
actually it is not, and they want to take buy more time just to have
See,
convenience sake.
usually in bigger organizations, or let's say if you
Yeah,
work for the same firm, it doesn't happen. However, if you're dealing with a vendor, then yes, you need, if you're not a technically sound person, you need to deploy someone who is a technically sound person. That case, your question comes valid.
no, I have seen people who are both business and technically sound. So
Hmm.
they counter question how your developer is saying this much time will be, they need that.
So
So
in
that
this
is
kind
the
of
thing I have encountered in my working areas.
so in this
So
kind of a
I have
scenario,
faced this
hmm,
situation. Yeah.
so in this kind of a scenario, what you do is you get certain answers from the tech lead, so that you know the client is also technically sound. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what you do is you get certain answers on detail basis. This is what it's gonna take. And if you have a doubt that discussion is going a different direction, you bring the tech lead along with the call. You don't
Yeah.
come in and give in the tech answers because you're not from that
Yeah.
field. Okay. Now, learners, that's how we've been using Jira. And what I'll do now is, I'll show you Jira for a moment. But before that, I'm just seeing if there is there any other concept that we're supposed to discuss in Jira before I take you to the tool itself. Okay. Now, okay, here we go with the Jira part. Now I'll stop sharing from my pad and I'll take you to the tool now on my laptop. Is my screen visible, learners? Just sorry, just give me a moment. I just stopped sharing. Where is it? Yes. Just let me know when you see my screen. Screen's visible? Yes or no? Yes or no, learners? Screen's visible? So I just googled Jira and I'll take you to the software. Let's say, since I'm already using it, so I'll just simply sign in. Google. Okay, it says welcome back. Go to Jira. Okay, learners, I'll show you from scratch how a new project looks like in Jira. All right. So what do we do is we go to, let's say, where do we have an option of, no, this is something else. Where do I have an option of, let's say if I go to Jira over here, and do I have an option of creating a new project? It's supposed to be here for you, apps, plans, spaces. Recent. And it's already showing me my recent ones. Just give me one moment. Where are they? Where is it then? Learners, do you see a place which says new project? Anywhere on my screen, do you see a place which says new project? Anywhere you see? No, right? So it's fine. Let's create a fresh one. All right. We go for software development. Over here, you will see learners, Kanban and Scrum. So select Scrum. You will use this template. You can select anything, team manage, or it doesn't matter over here. Team managed, just name. Let's say you will name this team mhm, beta zeta 4. All right. We have chosen Scrum. Next. Learners, now you need to tell me one thing, that if you look at a product, let's say like Uber, okay, I'll click on skip. I don't need to add any team members. If I look at a product called Uber, do you agree when the product Uber was, let's say, being conceptualized, there were at least 100 features that could have come in, the founder's mind? Do you agree? Yes or no? Just quickly type yes, no. That yes, Suryansh, even if I am supposed to do that, I can also think of 100 features in Uber. Correct? Now, do you think all of those 100 features were launched at once? No, right? Obviously, there was some kind of prioritization. Therefore, the word that you see over here is called backlog. Backlog says whatever you have in your mind, whatever process, whatever feature, whatever thoughts you've got in mind, please jot it down over here in the backlog section. Whatever you would like to do immediately, whatever you'd like to do it now, please do it over here. So let me show you how do you actually start something in Jira. What you do in the first place is you need to create an epic. All right. Let's say I'm creating an epic for the same Uber thing that we discussed. Over here, you click on create. No, not over here. It's not. Yes, create. You have an option called epic. But in order to do that, let's first enable the epic bar. Do we see that option called view of an epic bar? No, so we need to go it from here itself. Create notes. So click on create and click on epic. All right.
Is
So
Epic
let's
a feature the same, Surya? Sorry to
no,
interrupt.
no, no, no. Epic and features are completely different. So that's the reason I didn't touch upon more on what is a story, what is a feature, because that's going to take another set of discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they're different. Remember one thing, learners, epic refers to only the final objective. That's the final objective you're going to type. So epic we're going to type over here is enable Prime membership at Uber. And then I click on create. View epic. So let's say I get a chance to view epic over here. We've got this epic coming up ready. Now, earlier there used to be an option over here to enable epic panel, which I believe they have removed. There was an option over here which said enable epic panel, wherein we can see the epic. But right now I am not able to see that. No, they've changed the UI. Now let's start, and let's start. You see story, I told you they are called stories. So select story, and we can just mention that have a button for booking. Then another story can be create a page for benefits. So let's say if we talk of only these two stories. Now, using this, I can assign an epic to them that they both work for this, and then I can start a sprint. I can set timeline 2 weeks, 1 week, and I can click on start. The moment I click on start, the sprint gets started, and you are taken. Just give me a moment. Hey, something changed. Just give me a moment. We moved something else. Spaces. This one. Yes. And we came from backlog. We are here at backlog. We came at a place called board. Now over here we can move whatever we have done. We can open any story. We can assign it to anyone who is added to our team. That's how simply how Jira tool works. Because it's a huge tool in training itself. That's the reason, I'm not able to give you a demo. Otherwise, I would have made you have some kind of hands-on. But uh, seeing the time and what we are learning over here, a small intro is good enough for you to have a look. Okay, learners, look at my screen now. Okay. All right. Okay. This is what I showed you as a backlog. Learners, always remember that backlog, you, your development team, and the client together decide from the list of 100 features that you have thought which features should be developed first. So, this is how you clear your entire backlog. All right. Now, anyone aware of any of these things? Visual modeling toolkit for agile BAs. Anyone aware of? Has anyone heard of it? Anyone knows about it? Anyone has thought of any idea what this exactly could mean? You can speak now. All right, so that I know if anyone is aware of this. Okay, so Anup is saying no. Suryansh not being aware of this. Okay, we've got multiple no. Priyanka says yes. Okay, she's heard of these things. Okay, no. Anyone else would like to give an answer on this? Okay, now I'll take a pause for a moment because this is where we come to the last part, because visual aids are the last part and they'll take their own sweet time. But till now, with lots and lots of discussions that we have had, till now, is there any learner who's got any questions? You can put in your questions right away so that before we go to the last section, we have taken up almost all doubts. In the end, of course, I'll ask you for questions, but now if anyone has, please ask right away. Anyone? Okay, so before we go ahead, you need to quickly type your name if you got some basic understanding of agile, your role as a BA in this entire thing. If you got some basic understanding of all of this, just type your name in the chat box so that I know how many of us are up to speed. And in this way, we can now go towards the last part of the session.
Suresh, I have a doubt.
Go ahead, Tanushri.
Yeah. In one of my interview, I got a question of what is JAD session, like
Type
joint
it in the chat box.
application development session, JAD session.
Okay, I am not aware of this, Tanushri. If anyone is aware, you can help Tanushri right now. Or if you're not aware, then Tanushri, maybe we can connect it later at see how we can take that out. Anyone aware about this? What Tanushri just mentioned? Tanushri, can you type it in the chat box? Okay, Tanushri, just type it in the chat box. I'll see if I'm able to, get some kind of an answer to it. Now, learners, just wanted you to check with one thing. When you use Amazon, keep that journey in mind when you look at my screen share now. I'll just keep Amazon in mind and then look at my journey. All right, here you go. Learners, do you see the first visual diagram that we're going to learn together, which is the use case diagram? Okay. Now, is my screen visible? I hope you can see. Yes or no? Cool. Yes or no, learners? Okay. Learners, let's have a look. What exactly is a visual tool like? If it's helping us in some way, how is it helping us? It's called the use case diagram. By the way, it itself is a subject. If you are studying engineering, it comes under the category of database. So it's a huge subject on its own. So let's see, as a BA, what do we make out of it? Cool. I'll give you maybe 10-20 seconds to read what is being shown. Go ahead and read. I'll give you 10-20 seconds, then I'll open discussions. Okay. Now learners, since you have read, can anyone elaborate what exactly is a use case diagram? And if it's helpful for us, yes. If it's not helpful for us, then how? Go ahead. Anyone can elaborate based on whatever you have read. Relationship between user and system. Thanks, Priyanka. What else, learners? Let's understand this so that we're able to dig down a little better. Okay, let's say this is where we have our user. This is where we have our system, and over here online shopping takes place. Okay, now let's say we have the user who is currently browsing. Okay, now the user would like to add to cart. Then user is would like to begin the checkout process, would like to add delivery details, would like to make the payment, and let's say then the user decides to check out. Okay, at every point of time the user is interacting with the system, there are responsibilities being shared. For example, payment can be shared by the credit card company provider. Delivery can be shared by someone providing the location services. Adding to cart, browsing or logging in can be taken care by certain other users who check the credentials. The credential works well, then only allow the user to log in. The user does not interact with the credit card service providers, location access, identity. All of this happens outside the system for the user. The user interacts only with these. Are you clear with what I just told you now? If you're clear, just quickly give me a heads up. Yes, Suryansh, we are clear what you have just told us. Go ahead, tell me. Therefore, learners, if at any point of time certain breakage happens, let's say breakage happens at payments, certain breakage happens at login, location sensing. Now you know which particular portion area is at fault, so you can correct it. Therefore, using this called the use case diagram, you understand how your user is interacting with your system, the different points that you are currently covering with the system, and if there is a breakage or fault, you can pinpoint where the scope for improvement lies. In this simple language, we cover your use case diagram. If you're clear with this, just quickly give me a yes in the chat box by the time I go to the next one. Learners, remember one thing: when you're discussing concepts like these, you need to be aware about the story or about the discussion that is happening. The theoretical details are not of your concern. You don't have to give a semester end exam for this. All right. Now let's look at another one, which is called the data flow diagram. I'll give you 10 seconds to understand, and then we can continue.
Is flowchart or data flow diagram is same?
Yes, yes. Okay, learners, what I'm going to tell is mainly understood again because it's a technical term. Shika, flowchart is usually created before you create the schema of a database, right, Shika?
Yeah, basically, if someone requirement is there, you just want to show how it looks
So
like in a
flowchart
flowchart.
is a tech. Yes, so that's a data flow diagram, Shika. So when you mention flowchart, in technical terms, Shika, a flowchart is a diagram that you create before creating the schema of a database. Because through flowchart, you come to know what will exactly form tables, what will exactly form attributes, what exactly can be a primary key or a foreign key. That's what you develop from a flowchart. However, when you are discussing the flow of a user, how it will happen, or maybe you are discussing what we're going to see now, the flow of data, what you are hinting at, this comes under data flow diagram. Data flow diagram is more of from the managerial perspective of different types of integrations and fault analysis. The flowchart diagram is mainly from an engineer's or a data DBA database administrator perspective because he has to create the database structure in the schema in the background. So that's a small difference, Shika. Although the terminologies may look similar.
No, I have drawn only flowchart, like
Okay,
data flow diagram. Basically, I'm
right.
not from technical background,
Technical
so
background, right.
yeah.
Okay. Now, learners, didn't I just tell you that there
Shubham?
happens? I'll just
Yeah,
come to you in just one moment if it's fine. Sure. Hello, who's
sure.
this?
Sure, sure.
Okay, sure, Priyanka. Now, learners, in the use case diagram, we just realized how, as a user, we are interacting with the system and what all players are involved. When we are obviously discussing about these tech products, therefore, we see a lot of data being flown. Over here, credit card information, location information, over here, login credentials. We see a lot of data being flown. Whenever learners' data keeps flowing within the ecosystem, it makes less of a worry. Because it's in our control, we know where the fault lines could lie. However, when we are integrating a payment gateway, in simple words, when we are allowing a user to pay using credit card, we are allowing user to enter their credit card details. That details are then sent to companies like Razorpay, PayPal, PayU, or Paytm, or something or the other. Those require integrations with our website or our app. This is where data flow diagram comes in the picture and lets us know whenever the data is flowing outside our ecosystem. This could be important to know from the data privacy perspective. It could be important to know from the fault detection perspective where all we are having problems in integration. For example, we made a product perfectly fine, but suddenly Google Pay server has gone for a toss. Google Pay is not working. Therefore, you are able to identify the data flew to Google Pay, but it didn't come back. There was no response for payment confirmation. That means a fault lies over there. So using a data flow diagram, you get to know any data of that user, external flow, internal flow, where exactly it goes. Good. Now, learners, just quick question. Why do you think BlackBerry failed? I mean, it was always a premium product, especially BBM, and it was more of a proud moment to own a BlackBerry. However, things went down, and I believe we don't even see that product in the market today. My question for you is, why do you think this happened? Okay,
They did
adaptability.
not
Anupama.
they did not went with the evolving needs of the users and
Okay. Okay.
overcoming the lacunas of the existing products.
Okay. You mean to say that people had different requirements over a period of time and they couldn't meet those requirements. They forgot or they
Exactly.
couldn't develop new products to meet those requirements. Thank you, Anupama. Next learner who would like to pitch in? Anyone? Weak app ecosystem. All right, Anudeep. You mean to say that, the ecosystem of applications that Google and Apple have, they couldn't meet that, and at the same time, there was no match. Lack of R&D and D and stopped evolving. Okay. Any other learner would like to pitch in with any other answer?
It didn't keep up with the times. You have to go
Okay.
with what the market wants, what the
Great,
people
great.
want.
I
Yeah.
think one answer, what we all can understand understand is that they couldn't keep up with the changing times, right? Similar question for you all. On the chat box, you need to start typing now. Do you know of any similar brands, companies that failed? BlackBerry is one. Go ahead and start letting me know. Nokia, good answer. We've got Nokia, and everyone said Nokia. Okay. What else? What else we've got apart from Nokia? Orkut, Motorola, Anudeep, I think it still works. It's still there in the market, but okay. Okay. Faisal, Siemens still exists in medical equipments line. I'm not Micromax. Okay, good answer, Abbas. Do you know? Okay, any other hint? You want any other answer? Sony Ericsson, good. What's Iva Ganeshan? Zenith, okay. Learners, are you aware of Yahoo? Kotak, Kodak. So similar answers, which had the same fate. Okay. Now here we go, and this is what we'll be keeping as our objective for today. All right. Also, we'll be covering a project which will cover almost all aspects that we have discussed as of now. All right. One more thing, as and when where ChatGPT or any of these tools can be used, we'll make sure that we use them instead of any of the traditional approaches. Okay. So why don't you have a quick read at it in maybe 15 seconds? Now, learners, I'll give you 10 more seconds, then I'll ask you quick questions. Okay. Because we'll not be covering simple text that we are seeing. We'll be seeing other instances where it all has happened and maybe how these things can be prevented. Therefore, my question for you comes from point number one. It says acquired products like Tumblr, Flickr without aligning them to a unified vision. Quickly give me certain examples wherein acquisitions have drastically failed for companies. As in, they may be even responsible for, let's say, the downfall. Go ahead. If you can think of any company making an acquisition that failed, but okay, let's say the company survived, or even the parent company also failed. Go ahead. Let's see if you can come up with certain answers. Acquisition. I can tell you one. In India, Kingfisher Airlines acquired Deccan Airways for a massive amount that led to some kind of cash crunch, and sooner or later, other factors pitched in, and the airlines had to close. So now tell me any acquisitions you are aware of that companies made and it didn't work out well. Tata Docomoc. Okay, Ganeshan. You can cover for Bank of America. Arnab, what acquisition did Bank of America do? Merrill Lynch? Arnab? Okay. Next answer. Think of any answer when you think the company was good. They thought that let's acquire, and once we have acquired a substantial chunk of companies, Vodafone Idea. It's still okay. It's Rahul. It's still working. It still exists at least. Although yes, you agreed. I would agree that not in a very good position. But yes, Hutch is closed. Okay, Natasha. Vodafone acquired Hutch and then Hutch got closed. and then they had a joint venture with Idea. Now, learners, have you heard of a company called Byju's? Anyone? Byju's. They had a huge spree of acquisition. I think one of the major acquisitions was Adrian. It was an edtech company, and at one point of time, it was the most highly valued startup in India. Okay. Now, what happened was that company was doing phenomenally well in terms of user acquisition and the reach that they had gotten. At one time, they were valued somewhere around $20 billion. That's the valuation that they had command of. And they had massive acquisitions for a company like White Hat Junior. They acquired Akash and multiple smaller edtech startups. They had consolidated their position as an edtech leader in K to 12. That means from junior let's say nursery primary classes going up to class 12. So they had good hold over learners or students from this category. Their acquisitions were driven based on targeting this same customer segment. However, this level of valuation was not sustainable, and yes, it had a downfall, and it's still fighting somewhere in insolvency cases. My question next for you learners is it right for a company to first outsource, second focus on quick wins? I want your answers on these two questions. That is it right for the company to outsource certain aspects or certain parts of their business or product? Second, is it good for company to focus on quick wins? Let's see who would like to take lead on getting this answer done. That's right, Abbas Kingfisher Deccan. Go ahead. Now let's see. Maybe you can speak up now. Outsource, yes, Rahul. Okay. Why? You need to give reasons, learners. That's the reason I'm saying you can speak up. Let's say something
I
is.
think,
Yeah, go ahead, Anupama, please.
Shreyansh, I think outsourcing, as Rahul said, is pretty much fine for a company. Some tasks, some work which is not that worthy enough, or um,
Or you can say, Anupama,
what
that
we
is
can
not
say,
the core. That's not the core product offering. For
yeah,
example, let's say
which is not a core product. Yeah, yeah,
you can outsource finance. You can outsource
exactly,
marketing.
exactly, right. So
You can't
outsourcing is
outsource
fine.
treating patients.
Yeah, outsourcing is fine,
Mm-hmm.
but quick wins or
Mm-hmm.
quick targets are not that uh, what we say thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
Company should also think about long term
Long
goals
term.
as well,
Okay. Makes sense.
sustainability as well.
Makes sense. Good. I'll tell you both the areas when outsourcing, you've told absolutely fine. I'll tell you in certain areas where quick wins are no longer an option. They are a mandatory thing that has to be done. I'll tell you how. Let's hear it from
Okay.
others also. Good answer, Anupama. Next learner who'd like to pitch in. Outsourcing and quick wins for an organization.
Yeah, sir, I would
Arnab.
like to say, yeah, outsource would be a good option when you can't have all the expertise in one particular
Good.
field. So when you don't have expertise, so you can hire or outsource few things. For example, if you're a manufacturer, also if you
Got it.
don't have raw materials, then you can export it, or you don't have a particular expert team in particular domain,
Mm-hmm.
then you can
Mm-hmm.
outsource in that case and to build a good business and to give
Got it.
a different SKUs
Got it.
probably. And I think quick wins also would be a 50-50, depends on the
Mhm.
management how you build it, because
Good.
in sometimes, if you acquire few of the things, then it would help you, expand your ventures, but sometimes it will backfire. That is also
Backfire.
history.
Good.
uh,
So,
mm.
as Arnab said, sometimes you need to do, sometimes it will backfire. That is one of the major reasons why companies need to step in for quick victories, is because they need to keep a thought on this also. Can anyone recognize my horrible handwriting? What is written over here?
Stock
In
price.
stock price. You can't always have long term. Everyone, are you aware about certain words regarding the AI bubble that are going on today in Silicon Valley or in tech world? Something called of an AI bubble. Has anyone heard of it? Go ahead. If anyone has heard of it, tell me so that I can elaborate more on this. Then I'll relate it to the failure of Yahoo or any other companies.
Yeah, AI bubble is
So
there.
learners, now, how this thing is working, for this AI thing to work, obviously you need some kind of processing and data. Okay. Now this processing and data comes from excellent or high processing chips. Can anyone tell a company that makes these chips? High processing chips or Nvidia? That's right, Priyanka. So Nvidia, these chips are used in data centers operated by cloud service providers. That could be Microsoft, Google, or let's say Amazon. Cool. Now, these are in turn used by platforms like OpenAI and other Gen AI products. This is the final user who is actually getting the benefit out of it. All right. Now you see, Nvidia starts investing in OpenAI. OpenAI starts using services of what do you call these cloud service providers. These cloud service providers in turn place more orders for Nvidia. So what they have formed is commonly called a circular economy. Okay, now in this circular economy, Nvidia CEO just mentioned that if we don't perform well, the bubble is going to burst. Therefore, we need to keep performing well so that the bubble sustains. Therefore, learners, many a times these activities have to be done for quick wins, at least to justify your investments. They do make sense so that your stock price does not take a beating. So that's how quick wins are necessary. The reason why Yahoo and all companies maybe couldn't get through, one reason could be they couldn't align their quick wins, their outsourcing into one product. That's the reason. For example, today, if you look at Google, all products of Google are aligned to your one Gmail ID. Do you agree, learners? Yes or no? Yes or no? That using one Gmail ID, you can use all Google products, and they have a very what do you call straightforward alignment. Gemini, Gmail, YouTube, everything you go, they have aligned it perfectly fine with whatever services or products you're using of Google. That's the reason, despite making multiple acquisitions, many of them which could have gone. By the way, YouTube was also an acquisition, Maps was also an acquisition. They were able to align it well with their product strategy. That's the reason Google could survive. The same thing didn't quite work out well for Yahoo. Are you clear, learners, with these stories? If discussions, type yes in the chat box if you're clear, so that I can go on for the next part and maybe we can ponder more on this question.
Sir, I have one question.
Go
Kingfisher
ahead,
and
Arnab.
Deccan, I saw in the chat that Kingfisher and Deccan was a failure
Hmm.
acquisition. But
Mm-hmm.
I think I know I differ from this, that when this merger happened, that time
Hmm.
that was working fine and Kingfisher was able to
Good, good.
establish
Now,
them.
now, now, learners, Arnab has got a very good question. Arnab says, Suryansh, when Kingfisher acquired Deccan, this worked very well for Kingfisher. Okay, I'll take 1 minute, learners, to tell you what exactly happened. All right. Kingfisher, that time in India, there was a rule called 520, somewhat similar to this. It said that if you are in service for 5 years minimum, then only you can fly international. Otherwise, you cannot fly international, and international routes are always more profitable for airlines because in foreign countries, especially like Middle East, price of oil is less. Fuel, you save on fuel. So that's the reason companies crave to go international. Okay. Kingfisher did not have 5 years and they did want to scale to international routes. So they said we'll acquire Deccan because it already has an international flying license. Arnab, the whole problem came to only one aspect: price. They overpaid because obviously they didn't have any cash problem that time. They overpaid to purchase Deccan and still they were going fine. However, they had to lose a lot of cash. The moment they lost cash, oil prices spiked because of 2008 2007 recession. Once that happened, they didn't have enough buying power. And that time, bank support also was not there. So multiple 3 4 kind of factors pitched in at the same time, and that's the reason it failed. So the product was fine, the product aligned with the strategy was done well. However, the price that was paid could not sustain the organization. Make sense, Arnab?
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
Okay. Now learners have a look at this. It says product thinking means putting user first and focusing why the product is needed, what problem it solves. Okay. Now, have a look at this for 20 seconds, and I'll tell you what do we do next. Just have a look at this, then we'll cover one company after another, and we'll see, are they keeping, let's say, users' requirements, or are they innovating as and when they keep on growing? Then we can discuss. If you have read this till now, please type Y in the chat box. Thanks, Arnab. Thanks, Adrian. Okay. Learners, you don't need to memorize them. There will be a scenario in front of you, and you need to tell me. If you focus on a product like Netflix, okay, learners, if you want to focus on a product like Netflix, you need to tell me this. Quickly tell me. What makes you think that Netflix puts users' requirements and then develops certain kind of features? Go ahead. Can anyone pitch in and give an example on this? Go ahead. What makes you say that Netflix? Yes, we understand. They've always, whatever features they've got, they've always put in. They always keep. They always kept the user requirements, and those problems are being solved through new and new features. Go ahead. Go ahead. If anyone could like to pitch in.
I think, sir, in
Hmm.
Indian market they have reduced their prices accordingly,
Good. Good.
compared to the
Good.
American.
Good. Good. Good.
So
That means they
now,
realize. Excellent answer, Anna. That means in order to be competitive in the market, they've reduced their prices so that they can have a good reach. Excellent. Next learner. Now, learners, as you have a look at this, wherein they keep the user's focus always in mind, my question for you is, over here, could you tell me some of the development features that you have seen on Netflix, or you've always noticed that these features have been there on Netflix, that ensure that the feedback that I am giving, this particular feature is evolving based on that feedback? Let's say I gave a feedback to Netflix, the feature evolved based on that feedback and made itself better so that it enhances my viewing experience. Watch list, excellent, Rahul. That based on my watch list or based on my previous viewing history, you're able to recommend me. Your recommendation is able to give me answers, give me shows that I can watch. Now, learners, here's an interesting thing that also has happened recently, which is again a part of how you keep on changing your how you respond to your users' requirements. Let's say today, Arnav, he is made an, he's, let's say, director. All right, Arnav. Now you plan to launch a new film. You plan to launch a new movie. You approach Netflix and this is the script. The movie will be released in 6 to 8 months. Would you like to buy the rights right away? Let's say Rahul. Rahul, you're there on the call. All right, Rahul. Now, Rahul, you say you are Netflix and you say sure, I'll buy it. Now Arnab says, since I've got two of the biggest celebrities and the best supporting cast, script looks tempting. What would you, let's say, recommend for the price? Earlier, how it used to work was based on the sharp value and the previous history and all what they would do. Rahul would quote a price, and at this price, the deal would be locked. Now, if Arnab's movie went to box office or to cinemas and it performed pretty well. I mean, it became, let's say, the revenues crossed more than the expectations. Pretty well. The Rahul still is lucky that he got the deal for a lesser price. Vice versa, Arnab had this box office blunder. The movie collapsed, went completely flop. But Arnab is still happy that he struck the deal before with Rahul, and the amount has already been done. So this was how earlier things used to happen. Now, the way Netflix and other companies have evolved their payments, they say that the amount of the deal will be decided now on box office performance. How your movie performs in theaters will pay you accordingly. So that's again how you keep on changing based on how the market is also responding. If you're clear with this story, learners, just type your name in the chat box so that we understand how different teams or different payments, even how do you make payments to your vendors, those also evolve as and when things keep on changing. Okay, learners, if I were to give you a situation, first I would like you to read this. Take a minute, read what's there on the screen, then I'll ask you. If you have read this, learners, just let me know by typing yes. That yes, Suryansh, we have read this. Okay. Learners, before I go on and cover companies like Amazon, Netflix, Spotify, let me ask you something. If I consider, you know, if let's consider a company like Google, okay? Can I say this? Maybe you can correct me. Can I say this that if this is internet, okay, the gatekeeper is Google. That if you want to enter internet, more or less you will enter through Google only. Do you agree with this? Yes or no? Be it your anyway, with your operating system or anything. That Google comes out as an entry point for you to internet. Now, please suggest, and this is open now, this is what you have to answer. Please tell me how different products of Google, Gmail, YouTube, Maps, Gemini, News, Classroom, how all of these products fit in the picture of business strategy of Google. Let's say the strategy of or the business strategy of Google is to be the gatekeeper of the internet. But whatever happens online, I am the one who should be the one controlling it. So I control the entire ecosystem, either that's through Android or whatever ways, or maybe through my what do you say search engines. It's all up to me. Could you tell me how all of these products align with Google's business strategy? I'll give you one example, maybe then you can carry on. Let's say Google has multiple products, okay? Now, now all of these products have one common thing. That is that anyone can use these products free of cost. At the same time, there is a paid version to it. If you don't want to pay, Google definitely would use that data to monetize. If you pay, Google will use your data plus the fees that you have given to monetization. Therefore, Google says, I am a data hungry organization, and all of my products with their free versions fit in this category. So now go ahead, give me another example where you think that Google's product, all of these products, fit with the business strategy of Google. Go ahead. Maybe you can take up one particular product's example and then speak.
I think, sir, the search engine of Google always
Mhm.
create the demands that people always should go for uh, the first thing people go search in the internet should be Google search engine, where they will be getting lot of requests and links, which will
Mm-hmm.
help them solving the problem. So that way they have created a significant
Good.
market
So they've
segment.
so they've created a product. No problem. No issues. Whatever you would like to do through internet, you will always be entering through the Google search engine. Now that search engine can also be, what is the new search engine? Earlier it was a Google search engine. Now what is it? Through which Google wants you to enter the internet? Go ahead. Any guess? It's not a search engine, but this is what Google also promotes. Edge is not of Google. So now you see most of the answers. The first answer that you see is Google Gemini. That's what they put forward even when you do go for the search engine. So makes sense enough. Next learner, next learner. Any other learner would like to pitch in with another example on this? Go ahead. Any other learner has got any other answer? Now, if you talk of this thing called Gemini learners, you see earlier you used to search, get some answers, go through the links, and that's how Google would connect data. Now, Google says through Gemini, you get all your data points at one place. You ask back to back queries, back to back questions. It is helping me gather more and more data. Therefore, Gemini is in turn generating more data for Google, even if we are using it free of cost. Because that data Google in turn uses for Google Ads, making Gemini better, so on and so forth. So, again, Google found a chat kind of an option to make users talk more using Gemini so that they can have more data input. Go ahead and tell me, would you, anyone using Spotify? Anyone who uses Spotify? Go ahead, speak up. Anyone who uses Spotify?
I used it a time or two, but not often.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you used it.
Yeah.
Great. Any other learner use Spotify? Okay. Now, quick question. Quick question. If you, okay, first read it. I'll give you maybe 10, 15 seconds more. Okay, then we go to this one. These are some examples, learners, that uh, those companies have been getting better over a period of time, which I think we all are well aware of these brands. Okay, now just give me one moment. Okay, have a look at this, then we'll discuss further. How will your product decisions impact the company? There are measurable areas of impact, and every feature or product improvement should contribute. Okay, read this, then we'll come to our discussion points. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute, 90 seconds or so to read this. I'll stay on mute by the time you have a quick read. Don't need to memorize it or something, just have a look at it. Okay, if you have read this, just quickly type yes in the chat box that yes, Suryansh, we have read this. Okay. Now, learners, I want you all to participate in this. Okay. The reason why I'm saying is because this entire thing will be taking different categories of examples so that you all can understand all of these concepts better. How many of you have seen any local small store near your house? Any small store selling flowers, maybe stationery items, maybe the fruits, vegetables, could be anything. Any small store, maybe a milk store, maybe this they repair electronics, whatever they could be. Anyone. I hope everyone has seen a small store near around their house. Okay. My question for you is, let's assume that seeing how easy it's getting to develop your own products, the store owner thinks that I should be developing a product maybe that can help me in some way. And this small store that we are discussing closer to your house, let's say this person sells flowers. Okay, this person sells flowers. It could be for wedding occasions, decorating your car. Maybe you want to give fresh flowers to someone. Could be anything, even for religious purposes. They just sell flowers. Okay. My question for you is, what kind of product do you think this person should develop? Seeing the point that he's running on extremely low budget and extremely low tech expertise, and how that product is going to help this person in different areas. So, first tell me what kind of product this person should be making, and then we can discuss how it can help in getting better. Go ahead, let's see who would like to pitch in.
Try to get a website for one, like a simple website telling about the store, showing different products that they may have and offer to try to get local interest in
Good.
them.
So let's say we are looking,
Business.
let's say good. Let's say we are looking at a very small, simple website, maybe that enhances what let's say what we're discussing at is the brand appeal, right, Adrian? Let's say you develop
Mhm.
more trust in that brand, right?
Yeah.
Good. So learners, according to Adrian, we can work on building brand trust, right? Good answer. Next learner would like to pitch in on this. Arnav.
Sir, yeah, I think I'm thinking about a store, retail store, where the freshness of the flower will be the biggest impact of the product,
Good.
and they should have categorized the flowers in different SKUs, like for wedding or for gifting.
Good. Good. So
The packaging or the
more of an e-commerce site, right?
yeah.
Okay. We're in e-commerce and that too category wise. Good. What else?
Can he start off with a pre-ordering system so
Excellent
that
answer. So within e-commerce, let's have a pre-ordering. Right, Priyanka? Now learners, remember this one thing I discussed, and when we started this discussion, I mentioned the word product, right? Do you agree, yes or no? And the discussion how we went across covered product that would reach out to people outside, mainly customers. Okay. My question for you is, think of a product in which maybe the end user is not the customer. Now go ahead and now tell me what products you can think of and how they can still be beneficial. Go ahead.
An entity that could create ads, like to put on
Advertisements. Good.
Facebook. Yeah.
So ads creator. That's good. Maybe you can create advertisements. Excellent. What else?
can he integrate flower sellers
Excellent. So you're offering some kind of an integration service wherein he can cross sell and cross buy. Right?
which is B2B? Yes.
Good. Excellent. What else? Anyone else think of something apart from the customer facing, what do you say, platforms?
Tourism.
Thelma, elaborate more.
Yeah, like basically we'll have Indian operators here where like from in a set of people from here will go to a US tour. So basically we will just be in between the US agent and the customers here.
But we are selling flowers.
No, sorry, I didn't understand.
We are a small shop selling flowers, fresh flowers.
Okay, sorry.
No problem, no problem. Any other learner would like to pitch in any other idea on this?
Transportation,
Excellent. So maybe something to track transportation. Good answers. Now, learners, you realize that all of these products that you helped me name over here have one thing in common, and that one thing is they help the business owner either in driving sales, in efficiency in transport, in expanding the sales catalog, and building brand trust. Therefore, the products need not be, even for a small retail shop, pertaining only to e commerce. They can cover all aspects. For example, in India, we have this product called Zomato. Okay. Now, Zomato app is for us to order food. However, after realizing and working with restaurant owners, Zomato realized that we can have another product which will take care of supply chain of restaurant owners, wherein restaurant owners can order raw materials directly from that platform. This led to another revenue stream, of course. Therefore, learners, coming to back to this point, these are different areas in which those products can help your business outcomes. Have a look at this. We're talking of Nike, then we can start. Read this for Nike, then we'll continue. If you have read this, learners, now tell me what would you do in this scenario that you're noticing as Nike brand that your customers, okay, your customers, they are now switching more of to social, more of to influencers, newer newer brands that are more what you call D2C. You're seeing that your products are still good, but the connect with your users is kind of missing. You notice these aspects. Please suggest in this kind of a scenario what should be your action points.
Competitor studies.
Good. Now we have Anupama saying that Suryansh, let us study first what competition like Adidas is doing. Right? Or maybe let's study what Reebok is up to. Good. What else can be done?
Try to get
Go ahead.
customer views on it. When they come into the store, have maybe do like a survey or post out surveys
Good,
to
good,
see what
good, good,
the interest.
good. So ask your customers more what exactly, what they're doing or what they're referring or how their buying habits are changing. Okay, great. What else?
A
We have
scalability of our business.
Okay, so now they've analyzed that, Anupama, they've analyzed that because of these concerns over here highlighted, the sustainability of our business is in danger. Not because of the product, but because of the word called connect with the customers. This is what we have got from our study, everyone. Arnab, over to you.
I was saying, sir, giving discounts on the premium products to attract who are already gone to the.
Okay. So they said discounting is one thing we can go. Now, learners, if I were to ask you on how do you work with the problem of connect with customers,
Social
How
media
do you think?
campaign
Social media. Okay, one is social media. Okay, what else?
I think
advertising.
we should have a connect with respective those all the shops which Nike has, and create
Good.
a kind of a web network so that they can reach out to the customers and their feedbacks, because it has to be kind of a web where all
Got
the
it.
feedbacks has to come to one
Good.
center point, and based
Okay.
on that the data can be derived.
Okay, so develop kind of a data repository wherein all data flows so that you can make your decisions better using this data repository. Right, Omkar? Okay. What else? What else? What else? What else
You
can you
could
think
probably
of?
have like local events, and then once they come, have them sign. Like they have like the sign up cards, and you can collect data that way and ask them certain questions
Good,
on those
good,
cards.
good, good, good. So let's say local events for better connect. Good answer. What else can be done?
Giving ads to the sportsmen who are premium athletes.
Good. Premium athletes for sports. Okay, what else?
Can set up a store in a mall, like wherever often the people goes
Good,
for
good. So
weekends, so that they can
excellent,
cover the
excellent.
people often.
Look for latest areas of shopping domination. Yes or no? Let's say if it is malls, it is high streets, or whatever it is. Good answers, learners. That's how you work around and you get this thing started. Good. Now, learners, look at this second point over here. Nike Running Club offered workouts guiding. Have a look at this point, second point itself. Rest all points you have told very well. Okay. So, launch mobile apps. Look at the second point, read it. I'll give you 10 seconds, then we'll continue. Okay. Learners, quick question. How many of you have used, if yes, no, just type in the chat box. How many of you have used Nike Run Club or Nike Training Club, any of the digital platforms that Nike has to offer? I have personally used NRC, Nike Run Club. Okay. So anyone who has used it, yes, no, just quickly type it in the chat box. No, no. Okay, no. Learners, how this product simply works, you can Google it, you can download it after you have done with this session. It is just a running track app. It tracks your speed, your path, calories burn, you know, steps and all, and it gives you an analysis because if you have been running for quite some time. Okay, and it also compares with other runners who are nearby your geographical location. That's how NRC works. So this is another way wherein they're using it to connect with. They're not selling anything over here, just they are using it to build a connect with your different users because Nike promotes running. Now, can anyone tell me any other brand or any other product that has developed something similar, not maybe in sports, but they've developed a platform just to enhance connect with the users? They're not charging for it, it is not the primary revenue source, but it is there so that you can have some kind of connect with the customers. Go ahead. Any other learner would like to pitch in with an answer? Apple, good. It's not the primary but the source of revenue, but yes, it does give you a connect. Okay, what else? So Apple can be one. Puma, okay, similar category. Similarly, Adidas also has this. Okay. All right, learners. This is good. This is good discussion regarding Nike. This shows the impact that this thing happened. And now, remember, learners, two things that we'll discuss now. Okay, I'll be very straight on this. One is your product, and the other is your business. Okay. This thing is called the product thinking canvas. Both of these things, they'll tell you how to do it. They'll tell you, these are the considerations you have to make, so on and so forth. This was how things were supposed to be done few years back. Can anyone guess if you were to get this thing done today, how would you do this? Arnab, yes, CSR can also be considered. Adrian, yes, auto industry has developed these platforms. Good. Go ahead. If today you were to develop this product thinking business canvas, how do you do that today? Go ahead. Anyone can answer.
I just start by collecting data.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. I'll give
Okay.
you a very simple, I'll give you a very, that's what you do when you enter an organization and all, okay? But for learning
Mhm.
purpose and how do you start getting this thing done? The best way to do that is explain your idea to a person called ChatGPT. And this person is going to give you the starting ground to develop this product thinking canvas and business. In this way, you need not begin from scratch. Based on whatever inputs you've got from here, then you can make changes with your survey, with your research, and all of those things.
So
Okay?
you can brainstorm with Chat GPT and it'll
Say it
help
again,
you.
say it again, say it again, Adrian.
You can brainstorm with Chat
Exactly.
GPT
We'll
and
do
it'll
that.
help
We'll do
you
that. We'll
formulate.
do that. We'll do that. We'll do that
Okay.
also.
Okay.
Okay, learners, have a look at exactly this. What Canvas is, why do you need that? It's a strategic blueprint that helps business analysts drive clarity, collaboration, alignment, helps BAs get diverse input. Just read this quick. I'll give 10 more seconds. Okay, it's organized in 3 zones, each addressing a fundamental aspect. Job to be done. Just have a, don't read in detail, just have a look at these section parts. And here we go. Learners, this is what you will be doing now. Okay, all of you take 20-30 seconds, not more than that. Think of a very simple idea that you have in your mind for developing your own product. That could be, let's say, I want to develop a hyper local e-commerce platform. That could be, let's say, I want to develop an instant messaging platform, which focuses on more of business communication, something like that. Just think of any random idea. It could be a new idea, it could be an already existing idea from the market. Just think about it and mention it in the chat box. I'll give you 20 to 30 seconds to do that. All right, hurry up. Now, start typing your ideas in the chat box, whatever you have thought of. Start typing in the chat box, whatever you have thought of. MSME bag manufacturing company which collects waste materials and recycles. It's absolutely fine. Waste manufacturing company. Thank you, Arnab. Next learner. Thank you, Arnab. Next learner. Hurry. Think of any of the ideas that you have in your mind for a product development. Go ahead. It could already be an existing product in the market. It's fine. Okay, you say you want to have some collaboration with Arnab to sort. Okay. Heated gear for motorcycle riding. Okay, good idea. Now, learners, I'll give maybe 10 seconds more for everyone to do this. Based knowledge sharing website based on age group. Okay, makes sense. I'm typing something. This is what you have to do. Do this, learners. Do this. I'll give you a couple of minutes to get it done. Just elaborate your idea to ChatGPT in about 100 to 150 words. Once you've done the elaboration, ask ChatGPT to give you a product thinking canvas. The canvas should have three zones, as you can see on my screen. You mentioned three zones. That three zones are user first, job to be done, and output. Then mention section names within each zone and guiding question within each section. All right. Maybe you can take a screenshot of this and paste it in the chat GPT, telling chat GPT this is the structure of the canvas you want. Now, chat GPT will give you a canvas, a product thinking canvas based on exactly this, what do you say, exactly these parameters covering your business or your product idea. Hurry up. I'll give you a couple of minutes. If anyone gets confused, let me know. All right. By the time, what I'll do is I'll also do this side by side so that you can follow on my screen as well. Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen. We'll take a couple of minutes, or maybe 5 minutes to get this entire thing done. Let's say my idea is, Learners, my screen is visible? Yes or no? Okay.
Yes, it's visible.
Let's say my idea is to create a hackathon based hiring application. This app will conduct hackathons. Winners of these hackathons will be awarded interview/confirm job opportunities. Roles of these hackathons will be product manager, developers, program managers, HR, marketing, finance, accounting, covering all of these areas in hackathons. Okay. And target audience is college students, working professionals, anyone looking for a job. Okay, create a product thinking canvas based on the screenshot attached. Okay, That's what we'll be doing, learners. Let's see. I'll just quickly attach the screenshot, and then we can work. By the time I'm doing this, if you have done, if you can paste your answers, we'll all have a look. Okay. Let's see what it gives. Okay, so you see, you don't need to type all of this from the very start. It is already covering all of these categories on your own, as you can see on my screen. I'll wait for maybe 1 or 2 minutes more so that all of you can come up to the speed. And if anyone has any doubts, you can ask straight away. Adrian, remember I told you we'll be making something like this using ChatGPT. So this is the first thing that we'll be making using Gen AI tools. After this, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna make, what do you say, a business model canvas. Okay, that's also we're gonna use Gen AI tools. Hurry up, learners. All those you've done, maybe you can copy your answers and paste it over here so that we all can see what your answers are.
Sir, what are the three zones? Can you please repeat once again?
Sure, what I'll do is I'll share my screen again. Or maybe you can take the screenshot then. Okay, just give me one moment. I'm sharing my screen. Hmm, here you go. Maybe you can take a screenshot now, and then you can follow this. Okay, Anudeep has shared something. Let's see what Anudeep has made. Good, Anudeep. You see, for you also, it's getting. All right. Thanks, Anudeep. Let's see what answers other learners are able to get. Hurry up, learners. Anudeep has already shared. Let's look for other answers as well. Thank you, Anudeep. Maybe Praveen, Sai, you all can also share. Anupama, Omkar, Sumedha, Arnab, Rahul, Abbas, Priyanka. Shikha, are you there on the call today? Shikha, Adrian, maybe you can also share so that we can all have a look some of the product thinking canvases you have made. Let's give it 1 minute more and then we will go on to the business model canvas. Okay, learners will take a pause over here and I want you to focus on something like this: business model canvas. Have a look at this. I'll give you a minute to read, then we'll continue. Okay, it's a one page visual framework, all right, that replaces lengthy business plans with a clear, concise model capturing the essence of how a product or business operates. Okay, it is especially useful for product managers, startups, and new ventures. Okay, innovators and designers solving business problems. hmm Let's see what exactly we are going to work over here. The 9 building blocks are this. This is an example given for a tech application. They say customer segments, value proposition, channels, customer relationships. The others are revenue streams, key sources, key activities, key partnerships, cost structures. Okay. Now we'll pause over here. By the time I'll manage a way to give you all of these building blocks. In order to do that, learners, in order to do that, you need to help me out with this thing. I'll give you 1 minute's time. Think of a business idea. Let's say you're thinking of a startup. Think of a business idea different from the one that you had thought earlier. Okay. And now paste it in the chat box. By the time I have pasted all the building blocks for you in the uh, chat box. Hurry up. Let's see what all business ideas you can come up with. Okay. Hurry up, learners. DSA channel for loans and insurance buying. Thanks, Faisal. Good. What else? I've given you all your building blocks over here. Okay. So that you can. Okay, Arnav. If user first. Okay. Learners, paste the. Tell me more about the. What do you say? The business idea that you have figured it. Because in this way, I can now start giving you the next challenge, which is developing a business model canvas. These are the blocks that you will have to keep in mind. Now, the idea, whatever you have thought of, explain that idea, do the same exercise with these building blocks. So ask ChatGPT that this is my business idea, elaborate it, and then ask ChatGPT to give you a business model canvas covering these 9 building blocks. Okay. Could you tell me who could be your stakeholders? Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me who could be your stakeholders. Anyone? Whom do you identify yourself as a stakeholder? A stakeholder, learners, could be anyone and everyone who is associated with your product. Clients. Who clients? So let's say users. Right, Anuba? That's your hinting at? Users. Okay, good. Who else? Who else? Sponsors. Good. We have got investors. Good. Who else? Drivers. Excellent. Good. What else? Developers. Excellent. So we have developers and platform provider. Okay. Who else? Who else could be your, what do you say, project managers? We could consider team. To be precise, employees could be considered as your stakeholders. Okay. Now, learners, tell me one thing very clearly. Okay. You need to answer this. How are you going to do that? Users, they are always in need for discounts. Do you agree? Yes or no? User wants the best price and they want to have the maximum amount of coupons and discounts available. Correct? Yes or no? Over here, you have someone called driver who is always cribbing that other platforms are giving me better margins. Why should I stick to you? I want higher margins. Okay. You have, let's say, I don't know whether Uber is publicly listed or not. Let's say you have stock market. Now, the stock market says enough of passing your time with stating, higher user base and growth. Show me the money. Show me what have you made in terms of financials of profits, or let's say some revenue what you're working at. Show me your margins, percentage margins that you are able to achieve. You have got an investor, earlier investor, who says that I want high growth so that I can have the best exit. My question for you is, stock market and this investor, they have conflicting demands. Users and drivers have conflicting demands. Developers and team, they say that we are kind of firefighting. A competitor does something because they're new entering the system, they know the problem. We have to quickly answer this problem through our development efforts. All the plans that we have of our launching, many a times they are put on hold or they are put on back burner. The clarity is missing. My question is, learners, how do you do something known as aligning all of these stakeholders together? Go ahead, tell me. What do you think you can do wherein you have to align your all stakeholders? Because that's what you will be doing as a business analyst. You would be simply balancing between clients and your tech team. So, stakeholder management will be your bread and butter. Go ahead. How do you manage these conflicting requirements, conflicting deliverables, and of course, how do you keep the, what do you say, machine running? Anyone can answer now. Let's see what answers you can come up. Go ahead, learners.
By bringing the subject matter experts regarding the finances.
Good. See, you think of something else, you think of something else, right? Let the expert talk, right? Let the expert talk. An expert, what he or she says, will follow that. Now, is it fine? Good answer, Anupama. Next learner.
Constant, well, I was gonna say constant communication with meetings.
Good.
Always have like
You
weekly meetings or something
excellent, excellent. So connect,
to stay on track. Yeah.
yes, connect always, and never resolve conflicts on emails. Good, Adrian. Next learner. Any other suggestions you've got?
Focus groups, basically
Focus
focus
group.
groups.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
because they have the
Get more.
experts
Yes.
where
Yes. That's right, Omkar. Next learner. Any other answer anyone has on how do you align stakeholders together? Okay. So learners, another way, or how all of them get aligned together. Do you agree that all of them have some kind of personal objectives that have to be met? Do you agree, yes or no? And many of times those personal objectives are based on finance. Let's say it's employees look for better appraisals, better promotions and hike. Majority of time these are related to finance. Therefore, learners, if you can continuously show as a business analyst that your machine is running well and fine, and it is able to feed everyone, and you people are now planning to grow, that's when you have a better alignment of your stakeholders. Otherwise, if let's say the individual needs of your stock price, let's say shareholders, is not being met, then in your analyst meetings you will always be grilled that you're doing business, everything you're saying is hunky dory, but why is your stock price not showing anything? Therefore, some kind of a balancing which ensures that all of these scenarios, all of these areas are balanced in such a way that bare minimum Everyone is kept happy. Now what they have to do next is they have to think of growth, so they can be more of comfortable position rather than firefighting for survival. Do you agree with this, learners? Yes or no? If yes, quickly type yes in the chat box. Therefore, learners, when as a business analyst you deal with these kind of stakeholders, conflicting requirements, just ensure that no one, or to be precise, you don't use words upfront like no. Not gonna happen. This thing comes only in the picture when all other methods are exhausted. Okay, so that's how you work around with your stakeholder alignment. That was supposed to be the next topic. That, let's say, if your stakeholders are aligned, then you can work in peace. Okay, now you identify stakeholders, and this is one way in which you are able to work around and identify how do you satisfy each and every requirement of any stakeholder. All right, who does what in project or initiative? Let's say, who is the one responsible for this? I'll tell you something. Let's say it's a new feature launch. Maybe the decision maker is the product manager or the business analyst. The person who is working is the tech lead. The person who is being consulted on how to go about or get to be done is maybe the partner. And client over here is being informed about the timelines and the features that are being developed. Therefore, client is someone who is kept up to date. Expert is, or partner is being considered. This is what we are doing. The product manager or the business analyst, you guys have made the decision, and the tech lead or developer is there to answer the call. All right. Okay. Now, learners, let's have a situation wherein we would be looking at the word called design. But before that, if you're clear with the stakeholder alignment, please type yes in the chat box. If you're clear with the stakeholder alignment, that yes, Suryansh, some of the ways that you discussed or the stakeholders that we talked about, yes, it works. By the time people are typing yes, no, or something, have a look at read of what is this? What is a design challenge? Just have a look at read at this, then I'll go to the next slide. Now, everyone, take out your phones and open LinkedIn. Now, on LinkedIn, you will see at the bottom there is a bar, like a task bar kind of a thing. Okay. Now, when you see this taskbar, could you tell me some of the options? There are, I think, 5 options there on the taskbar. Could you tell me what are those that you see? Home, okay. Okay, what else? Post, great. My network, great. Video. You still seeing video? Who's this? Siley, the video part is still there because on our app I can't see notification, jobs, notification. Okay, good. Now, learners, consider this. Could you tell me a very simple, straightforward reason? Look at my screen. Very simple, straightforward reason. Why do people use LinkedIn? Go ahead. Tell me. Why do, Asali, I think either I am not updated my app or you have not updated it. Because video option I stopped seeing long time back. But good, I'll keep that in mind when I continue with the discussion. Okay. Question for you, learners. Question for you. One simple reason why networking. So someone has mentioned networking.
The job
Okay.
search.
Job search. Great. So can I say that people use LinkedIn so that in some way or the other they can switch to a better job? Do you agree? Yes or no? I'm talking
Yeah.
of layman user. I'm not talking of, let's say, business users. I'm talking of people like maybe you who would like to find a new job. That's it. So can I say that people are on LinkedIn so that they can hunt for jobs? Correct. Anyone has got a different viewpoint on this, you can speak.
I would say like base means the main important point is the job search based because to get
Hmm?
a job you need to have a good networking,
Okay.
with
Okay. So
all
you
the
mean to say
peoples.
through networking, the role is to get jobs, get
Yes,
landed in
the
a job of your
ultimate
choice.
point. Yes, yes.
Ultimate point, right? Now, learners, if this is your primary objective, another thing, is LinkedIn charging you anything? I'm talking of the free version, not the premium. Does LinkedIn charge anything?
No.
No, right? Therefore, if you're not charging anything, LinkedIn works. Do you agree on engagement? Do you agree, yes or no? More people
Yes,
connect
yes.
with each other, more people post. Therefore, for LinkedIn, it is most important that people, first of all, they are engaged and they are able to do the job search part better. Do you agree with this, learners? Yes or no? Do you all agree? Yes or no? Now, look at LinkedIn. What do you see on the rightmost side of the taskbar? The first option. The first option on the bottom right corner on LinkedIn. What do you see? Jobs. So now you see the product has been designed in such a way that your thumb will automatically reach for jobs first. Next. Look carefully. Do you see an option to send message on LinkedIn? Do you see the message option? Yes or no? On the top right corner. Yes or no? Correct? Now, hold your phone and try to reach to that message. You need to pull the phone down and then go up and click on message. Yes or no? Is that how you do that? Yes or no, learners? It is less accessible as compared to jobs. Now, look at the post option. Is it better in access as compared to message, learners? Yes or no? The post option on LinkedIn app. Is it easier to click on post as compared to clicking on the message icon? Tell me, yes or no? Right? Therefore, learners, the product has been designed in such a way that you post more, you hunt for jobs more, you look at your notifications more, and you look at the network more. This is how LinkedIn makes money, and that's how they have given access to these features on your thumb. Other features like looking at your profile, looking at messages, they are saying you don't need to access them as primary features of LinkedIn. So you search for jobs, you look at notifications, you look at your network, you look at posting something. That's how, learners, the product has been designed. If you are clear with this design concept, quickly type your name in the chat box. Then let's talk something related to videos. Hurry, learners, just type your name in the chat box if you're okay with the design part that we just discussed. Learners, remember sometime back, LinkedIn had started focusing more on the videos. Do you remember? Yes or no? Wherein LinkedIn was filled with videos. It was becoming the next Instagram. Back to back videos. Do you remember? Sometime back it happened. They thought Facebook transitioned very well from being post to reels or whatever videos, started competing with YouTube. Same thing happened to Instagram, wherein what do you say, reels or what do you say, stories, these kind of things became more prominent. So LinkedIn thought, let me also go ahead and work around with something called videos. In order to promote that we're giving more importance to videos. They put the videos icon where one of our learners mentioned, Siley mentioned that they put the videos option on the taskbar because they wanted people to watch more videos or they wanted people to post more videos. That's the reason, that's how, learners, your design keeps on changing as and when your business objectives want to change. Clear, learners? Yes or no?
Yeah.
If you're clear, yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, Omkar.
So to say that, to summarize it, we want to say like, so the design is basically based on business value and the customer value. It
Design,
has to.
exact, absolutely. And design will keep on changing as and when your business objective keeps on changing. So your business objective is to focus more on videos to generate more data and more engagement time. You remove the post option, you put the videos option, or you remove the my network option, you post the videos option. You feel this is not worked out, this is backfired, and instead of gaining, you're losing out on engagement. Remove it, bring back the first version back. Now, sometime later, you may realize that LinkedIn wants to promote the premium more. Let's say right now it does not do, but maybe LinkedIn can start giving you pop-ups that would you like to switch to premium? We are offering 50% discount because they would like to promote the premium feature more. Make sense? What is it, Omkar? Yes or no?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
All right, here we go. Learners, have a look at this. What is this? What is a to be experience map? Now, this is something I want you to read and explain me. That's Suryansh. I think this is what it means. Now, go ahead, elaborate. Can anyone tell me what exactly is this thing? The to be experience map. Let's see.
It's a roadmap to what they expect the product to achieve or become.
Good. So, let's say, in other words, it tells what you want the user to experience. Let's say if you
Mm-hmm.
open this product Adrian, this is the experience that you want the user to have. Yes or no?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Good. Any other learner got any other point? Any other learner would like to pitch in with any other point?
Is that the how the user going to I would say use the functionality of the product
Good. So
and
let's say
get
how.
the
Okay, we get the objective done. Good, Omkar. Now, learners, consider this. You are making an online payment. Okay, look over here. This is the place you start. All right, you start. You click on Pay Now. You let's say choose credit card. Okay, and after choosing credit card, what do you do next is you go again. You enter your card details. The moment you enter your card details, it goes on and asks you for a OTP. All right, and once you have entered the OTP, your transaction is approved if it is correct. Do you agree, learners? That's how usually an online transaction scenario works. Yes or no? Yes or no, learners? Look at this. They have given you one, two, three, four, five before payment is done. Five steps. And if the user is not very sure about making or going ahead with this, you're giving user five options to back off. Do you agree, learners? Yes or no? Yes or no? You agree with this concept? Now, someone intelligent thought, okay, choose payment credit card, and let's say pay now, choose credit card, enter card details, OTP, confirm. Correct. Let us have auto read OTP, wherein the user need not enter it. The user can see the OTP being typed on its own. Maybe we can fetch it from text message. In this way, from 5, we have gone to 4 steps. Do you all agree that this is how today online transactions are done? Yes or no? Just type yes or no. Someone more intelligent thought, let's go one step further and let us remove enter card details. What we'll do is we will save card details, and through tokenization or something, user will not even have to enter CVV. Without entering CVV, this thing can be done. Now this step is over. This step was already over because it was auto reading. Now we are down to 3 steps. Then someone called Jeff Bezos came. He said, pay now. Say, Alexa, pay using Amazon Pay. We have 0 steps. Therefore, learners, at every point of time, that's how you map the experience of what your feature is going to give to the user. And overall, what benefit are we delivering not only to the user, but to us also? If you're clear with this story about the experience map, how it should, how different features can make changes in the experience, type Y in the chat box. Now, learners, this is one way of creating an experience map. I want you to go through it once. I'll give 20-30 seconds on each slide. You can have a look at it. Then we go to the next slide. Then we go to the next slide. Okay. So start reading this, which is step to create a to be experience map. Okay. So start reading this. I'll give you 20 seconds. Okay. We go to the next one. Set design goals, outline ideal journey stages. Again, learners, in order to create any document today, please do not waste your time in creating it on your own. Just give the headers that you want, the idea that you've got to these Gen AI tools. They're going to create it for you. If you want to have it a visualization form, many a times they give you visualization form as well. All right. So all you need to know is some of the headers. Why are these things in existence? Where are they used? So that all the monotonous and the mechanical work of typing and creating these things can easily be done by Gen AI. Okay. That's the reason I'm not making you type every word from scratch. All right, the last point. Then we go to some further topics. Okay, here we go. Say that we're going to create a journey map for that, wherein we're going to create online grocery shopping app. Let's do this. Okay, they've already given you persona. Okay, your persona is already there. Now, what they expect to do is they want you to create a to be experience map for this. Okay, in order to do that, I want you to quickly now open ChatGPT. Okay, open ChatGPT. I'll keep the screen sharing on. By the time I'll give you the list of headers again. Open ChatGPT. Tell ChatGPT you want to create a to be experience map, and you are looking at design challenge, and you're looking at the challenge over here is busy professionals complete their weekly grocery shopping. What I'll do is I'll just paste it in the chat box so that you don't have to type it. Just give me one moment. Just give me one moment. I'm seeing if I can type everything, uh, you know, in just one. Okay, you'll have the text now. And just give me 30 seconds. I am sending you the text. Look at the chat box, everyone. The text has been sent for you. Okay, now use this text. These are the headers. Define the persona, map the as journey, set design goals. Just copy this entire thing, paste it on ChatGPT, and tell ChatGPT to create an in what do you call the to be experience map, keeping the headers mentioned in the step, and show me the experience map now. All right. Whatever answers you get, paste it over here. Then let's see how do we go ahead with the next one, because next 22 minutes or so we'll focus more on wireframing and other areas wherein we can make other impacts. That's also possible very easily these days using AI, but we'll still discuss them. And at last, maybe 25-20 minutes, we'll focus on the project. So I'll give you 2 more minutes, learners. I want everyone to send me the experience map now. I'll stop sharing for a moment so that you can focus on your task. All right, you can start sending your answers now, maybe in a minute. Harib learners, let's look at some of your answers. Okay, any answers anyone has got? Any answers anyone has? Maybe you were able to do some kind of a work and you were able to get it done. Now, learners, stop doing whatever you're doing and answer a very small question. And that question is, today, if you have an idea of a product, please tell how would you explain, share your idea to a possible investor, maybe to a possible client, user, maybe bank, maybe let's say possible in future employees, or maybe you'd like to share it with your friends and family. Go ahead. What are the different ways you can share this idea? Go ahead. Let's hear it from you all. How do you share this idea of yours with anyone you would like to get involved in this? system. Tell me, you have a product idea. Let's say you have an idea of an instant messaging platform. How do you explain this idea? One way, of course, very common is make a PPT out of it, right? So now tell me, thanks, Deepika, what are the other ways you can do that? Go ahead. PPT is fine, that's correct. What else can we do? Maybe Praveen, anyone? Prototype, okay. Prototype models, create a model out of it, okay. I'll come to the word prototype, Priyanka, in a moment. I'll still write it. Okay, next would like to pitch in. Next. Anyone? Any other idea anyone has got? Thank you, Arnav. I can see some of you participating well. Okay, now learners, you can also create a video of yours explaining. Correct. Learners, all of these ideas work very well. However, let's say if you want someone, instead of listening or reading about your idea, someone can actually play around with it. That means you are making someone use the app without creating it. Do you think it will give a better experience to anyone with whom you are talking? Yes or no? Tell me, yes or no? Do you think it will give a better experience? That's Riyansh, if we can make an app, if give an app experience without actually wasting time and efforts. Praveen, any questions you've got? Okay. In this scenario, learners, we have something called a wireframe. Now, what wireframe is, you can create it using pen and paper, you can create it using PPT, you can create it using Balsamic, you can create it using Figma. There are multiple tools available in the market. Now, what wireframe does, let's say you're thinking of an instant messaging platform application. Okay. Now, what you'll do is you will not focus more on the design, how beautiful it should be, any coding or anything. You just explain the functionality, that this is my instant messaging platform. Over here you have an option of chatting. Over here you have an option of calling. Okay, now you can click on chat. It will lead you to the same, in the within the same PDF, to a new page wherein you can show how the chat would look like. Click on call, it will take you how the call would look like. In this way, I can click, and then see, okay, if I click on chat, this page opens, and within chat, he or she has introduced a new way of chatting, that is only through GIFs. Okay, I get it. In calling, he or she has introduced a feature in which, let's say, I can schedule and record a call even in free version. So learners, wireframes are made to explain only the functionality of how a product would work. They can easily be made using a product called Balsamic. It is 99% similar to PowerPoint, and you can save Balsamic output as PDFs. You can share it with anyone, and they can click, and use it like a real application. That is one way. There are multiple other ways of doing that, which I'll show you now. But most common way of doing it is most common way of doing it is wireframes. Figma is another tool that is used for wireframing, most common. Balsamic is also another. Okay. These are other ways you can do that, learners. One is called the user flow diagram. One is called business process. Wireframes, of course, we have studied. We've got entity relationship diagrams. Learners, ER diagram is something you don't need to worry much about, because these are created before the developers or the database administrator creates the database. Okay, so this is something which is taken care by the tech lead or so on and so forth. Flowchart, again, it comes as a useful thing, but flowcharts are mainly used to manage projects. Same thing goes with swim lane diagrams. As a business analyst, your focus more would be on wireframing or max to max user flow diagram. If you're clear with the wireframing concept and how it comes in handy, quickly type yes in the chat box so that we can go to the last discussion topic, which is POC and prototyping. Look at this. I'll give you 30 seconds to read. Maybe 15-20 seconds would suffice. Read this. Testing ideas through POC and prototyping. Visualizing is fine. Okay, you have visualized it how this would look, but I need to first test it in the market. No, whether this is worth investing my money and effort. So how do I do that? So there are two ways of doing that, learners. One is proof of concept and one is prototyping. We'll touch one by one now. Look at this proof of concept. Read this, then I'll give you one way of one another example with which you can relate it better. All right, Omkar. Okay, now learners, does anyone present in this call know about story of Alexa? The speaker. How did this happen? There were a couple of engineers in Amazon. They thought something on a conversational basis can be made with Alexa, and in similar way, they said let's conduct and see if it can work. What Amazon said, okay, you go ahead and you start creating it on your own. No customers, no clients, nothing involved. We'll see what all resources we can give you. So they started working on it. In order to make it more conversational, some of the steps that they did was they would hire multiple rooms and let people have conversation in those rooms so that Alexa can recognize, realize what conversations he or she, like Alexa has to respond. Therefore, it becomes more conversational. They tried this. The initial feedback they got was it is the dumbest thing anyone has ever seen. Okay. But as and when time passed, they kept on improving and made it better. Once within organization these two people were able to prove that this is how it works and this is how it can go ahead and this is how it works, this is called POC. That means the POC, proof of concept, was verified. Now we are good to launch a prototype. The meaning of prototype is not that the product is ready, go ship it in the market. No, meaning of prototype is launch it with a very few select customers, users, and take their feedback. Once enough and more feedback has been established and the product has been refined again and again, only then you are good to go for the launch. So therefore, feedback makes a prototype better. You launch a new prototype, then again feedback, then another prototype, then again feedback, then another prototype. And finally, that prototype is what leads to a final product, which is what is available for the world outside to see. Only when the POC has been verified, the prototype development starts. Because POC requires somewhat less can okay beta Anupama, I'll come to that in a moment. Okay, don't worry, I'll come to that in a moment. Anupama has got another good word over here, beta version. I'll come to that, Anupama. Okay. Only once the POC is confirmed, verified, we go on developing prototype because it requires some kind of extra cost and efforts. That's the reason. And at any point of time, a company would have hundreds of POCs running within the organization, and those who are verified finally go to the prototyping stage. Anyone in the call has heard of what Anupama has just mentioned in the chat box. Anupama has mentioned a word called beta version. So anyone who has heard of this thing called beta version, let me know now. Anupama, okay, Anupama, you would have Anupama, okay, this is a separate Anupama. She has heard, okay. Priyanka, great. Okay, you see, learners, many a times you're going to see, especially I have personally seen it on Jira multiple times happening. Now, POC is verified. Okay, great. But Trian says it's time to launch a prototype with some select customers or users. One way is hunt down those people. Hey, would you like to be a part of prototype? Please join me. Please join me. Another way is on your existing product, launch it as a beta version and clearly say this version is under user feedback development. We have just launched it to get some feedback from the users. This may or may not work appropriately. That's when a beta version is launched, which could also be called, in other terms, a prototype of the actual product to see how it can get better, and finally, this beta version is switched from beta version, and this word is remove beta version. It is now an actual product. So, Anupama, somewhat I have answered your doubt. Yes or no, Anupama? That's how learners beta version also work. Okay, learners. Thank you so much. If till now anyone has any doubt, you can ask straight away because we have covered the topics that we are supposed to discuss together. Okay. See, the whole point is for you not to memorize these concepts. You just need to understand the stories and examples that we have discussed because using these examples, you're going to be in a situation to talk to clients when you get in a BA role. Remember, learners, talking to a client would be 80% of your job in order to get his or her confidence. Your development team is a part of your organization. By default, they have to trust you. Okay. Therefore, these stories and concepts are there just to ensure that when you sit in front of a client, you're not blank of what these things are. So you first create a new project in Jira. Let's say the name of the project you've created is Investment Bank Overhaul. Okay. That's the new project that you have created. You are going to overhaul the investment bank operations. All right. So that's a new project that has come from your side. Now, the final objective. This is the name of the project, learners. The final objective is overhaul internal processes or whatever we call it. Overhaul the transformation of the investment bank, moving it to agile. Something like this you've identified as an epic. Take a screenshot of this. Next, let's come back. It says create a Jira project, add epics. Now, there are multiple ways of doing that, learners. You create one epic, okay? You create one epic which will have all of the areas, better communication, smoother handoffs, could have multiple features within it. Or you can create in this one single project, you can create smaller epics. For example, you want to have better knowledge transfer. Second, you would like to have, apart from knowledge transfer, let's say better communication. Another one, you need to remove redundancy of applications. Another one, better ownership of support. All of these can be individually your epics. Now. Till now, if you have any doubts, please ask right away. I'll take a pause. Till now, if you have any doubts, please ask. If you're confused, what exactly should I be creating as an epics or something? The project has already given you some examples: knowledge transfer, reporting, resource alignment. Therefore, they've already been done for you. If you can think more apart from this, add them. If you think I'm not able to think, so you keep yourself limited to here. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Next, anyone has any doubt?
Suryan, should we first list what are the post-trade activities before doing this?
What would be the
Post-trade operations, like it is clearly mentioned that after investment post-trade. So should we
hmm
first mention what are the
Okay,
categories of support which comes in after post-trade?
okay. All right. Now, Priyanka, that's a good point. You're mentioning that first let us know the activities that come under, as you mentioned, post trade settlement. That's what we're hinting at, Priyanka.
Yes.
So, learners, one way is you see three or four epics that are already there on the blog, on the project, or what Priyanka is also suggesting makes sense that you ask ChatGPT, what are the post trade activities that an investment bank has to do? give me a list. So now it will give you a list of, let's say, 10 activities. Now, overhauling or adding agile to these 10 activities, these 10 can be your epics. That is another way of looking at it. So now you've got 10 epics, and each epic, as I told you earlier in the last session we discussed it, will have, because it's highlighted in green color, will have stories. Therefore, if you want to remove, let's say you want to enhance, you want to remove redundancy. So removal of redundancy, one story can be identify similar features across applications. Identify different teams involved in development. So these could be two stories that could be part of that epic. Another one can be that, let's say, better knowledge sharing. So for better knowledge sharing, which is currently not existing, maybe identify current processes that are there as a part of knowledge sharing. Talk to stakeholders as to why these processes are not working. Third, open a suggestion box, that this is how you can go. Shortlist suggestions, talk to an expert, and start executing one by one. So these could be different stories for your epic. Just ensure that your stories, whatever you're writing, learners, they are more of independent, testable, scalable, that we just understood in the previous session. All right, you need to share screenshots of these. That's what the Jira portion shows. This was the most exhaustive one, so I'll just wait. If any questions anyone has on Jira, you can ask now. Till now, if anyone has any questions on the project, you can ask right away.
Sir, without downloading this in the web, can we access Jira free for me?
Yes, it's a free of course. You just need to Google it. Once you have Googled it, you will open it. You can access it without downloading an application. It is free of cost access.
Okay.
Okay. Learners, remember the Ishikawa or the fishbone diagram? How many of you remember? Just type yes in the chat box, wherein we discussed bankruptcy and we had causes for each. Do you remember this, learners? So the cause over here, the end problem is that we've got a problem that the current processes are leading to highest level of operational inefficiencies. That could be your, let's say in the fishbone diagram, could be the head of the fish. Now you bring all of these, that poor knowledge transfer because of these reasons, poor settlement because of these reasons. So that's how you develop your fishbone diagram. So easier way of doing about it, whatever epics you have identified, no learners, those epics can be your causes, and whatever, let's say, sub reasons why they exist could be over here identified like this. So let's say poor knowledge transfer can be written over here, poor knowledge transfer. And over here, learners, you can identify, let's say, multiple sources of knowledge transfer, lack of seriousness of knowledge transfer, so on and so forth. So this completes your Ishikawa or the fishbone diagram.
And with that, we have come to the end of our course. If you have any doubts or questions, ask them in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and keep learning with Simply Learn.